Right. Last chance. If not, I'll give up. Oh, it's driving me insane. If it doesn't work this time, I'm just going to run the whole night. Well, not blind, but it's going to feel that way sometimes. Right. Fingers crossed that works. Fingers crossed that works, because I've got nothing else there apart from that. So, right, so it's working, Visual, it is, but it's not working on what you can see in front of you, which is frustrating, to say the least. This was another new pop-up. Yeah, unfortunately the new pop-up is not working when it comes to chat, which is a rather important thing for have on a live stream, and it is really frustrating. It's a new stream though, yes, I know. Welcome everybody, and I do apologise for the seemingly poor chat box, which normally works. I haven't played with it, I haven't done anything to it, well, apart from updating OBS. Never update something unless it's really needed. This is interesting, it's popping up on my screen and then instantly going, which is weird. Yeah, it's something not quite right. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I will have a mess around as we are talking, and then we'll see if I can fix it. Anyway, I can see your chat. Hello everybody. Apologies for the technical side of things messing up. Visual says working, yeah, Niels says hello, this is another pop-up, it's a new live stream though. Visual says hello Niels. Niels goes, you can embed the window instead. Oh, can I? Can I embed the window? Oh, see Niels, this is what I need you. I need you to sort of, where does it say embed the window? I tell you what, I think you're still on moderator. I don't think I can get you to run it for me though. Yeah, I don't think I can. You're managing moderator. You're on a. These users have the same capacity as standard moderators, but in addition, they can manage blocked words and change chat modes in live. Yeah, okay. So unfortunately, Niels, you can do certain things, but you can't. Unfortunately, yeah, it's down to me. Unfortunately, with this one, I don't know how to embed it in there physically, but. Yeah, it's just frustrating, obviously, when you have technical stuff not working, but I can mess around with it as I'm going, so, and we'll see if we can do it. I'm not quite sure if I can or not. And if any, Niels, honestly, if you know, keep shouting. I can see the information up on here, so if you know how to do it, kind of like Idiot's Guide, by all means, pop it in there for this idiot. Use a hammer, abstract AV, you're absolutely right. Impact maintenance is one of my favorite things, although saying that my back aches like man. What I mean, you can use OBS, I'll switch to PC in a moment and guide. Well, thank you very kindly. I can use OBS. I am using OBS at the moment, so I don't necessarily know what you mean. Like I say, can I can't even, yeah. Neil's on the case, he's going to have a little look, he's going to switch to PC and then let me know. And fingers crossed we can get the comments going on the screen because it's really helpful to have. So, sorry, 2 messages got crossed. Yeah, as long as the message with the ones where you can work out how to fix this, I don't know. It drives me insane sometimes, it really does. I really wish I could find a better way. Something's very wrong with OBS. I keep moving my mouse and different parts of YouTube keep popping up. Steve, hello, hope you're well. Hi all, I agree with Niels, you need both to get the best results. Yes, well, not in the one, definitely. When it comes to, sorry, I'm just trying, anyone who thinks I'm distracted, I am distracted because I'm trying to get the chat working. And obviously trying to do that as we sort of like, yeah, go for everything. is not the easiest thing in the world. I'm just trying to get a way of being able to normally you literally just copy and paste the information straight into OBS and it basically pulls everything from there, but at the moment it's being a pain in the backside, and so yeah, it's just not wanting to work, which is a real pain in my backside, because especially with my live streams, it's really handy to see everybody's comments. Now, I'm pretty certain you can see the comments if you go on your phone. You can actually have, let's see, popped up again. I just saw Cody. Hello, Cody. I've got a separate one on my left-hand side here. But on the actual stream itself, I saw in the chat box window, Cody's message pop up really quick and then flash off. Gone. So it's definitely going to have to, it's something to do with OBS. Now, whether OBS, since the update, I might need to go back to the previous one, never update anything. I know, like Microsoft say, always make sure you update Windows. Do you know what? The amount of times I have done something like that and just messed everything up. So it doesn't matter. Have you hit the Tour Wedge Exotic C721, C722 irons? And what was your opinion of them? Cody, I haven't. No, I have been, well, for the last couple of weeks, I have been absolutely mentally busy. I am working on the home in a lot. And so YouTube at the moment is having to take a little bit of a back step because I've got lots to do. Well, anyone who cares about my sort of like, not YouTube life, my human personal life, is that I bought my house, well, the wife and I bought the house, about 18 months ago or so. It needed a lot of work to start with. Like everything was torn out. Everything was like floorboards up and central heating out, hot water systems out, electrics redone, and walls down, different walls up, and bathrooms out, en suites out. The whole idea was torn, no flooring. It was just like walls and a floor and a roof, kind of. And so I spent a certain amount of time not living somewhere else, but then working on it, doing it up, so it was livable, getting. And then from then I've been doing other bits and pieces to it. So it's a project. I've got a rather, done it again. So Abstract AV literally popped in the message, which I will read in a sec. Add a window capture to the screen in OBS. Add a window capture. Okay, now I could do that. Window capture. Let's go have a look. Oh, do you know what? Niels, you are possibly the brightest man alive. Now, it's probably not going to look so good, but do you know what? At this point, I don't care. Oh, hang on, that's not gonna, well, it will work, but I have to resize it manually. How do I resize it manually? Oh, there you go. Yeah, it's gonna look a bit stretched, but it'll work. Ready? There you go. So I got something. There we go. So you are right, Niels, we can get it done. It just means that it might come a little bit like that, stretched a bit, but it's good. There we go. Right, so anyway, very, very quickly, just finish off my story is that, en suites need to be done, downstairs toilet needs to be done. I've leveled the floor, I've done that kind of thing, and I've also put the LVT luxury vinyl tile, where you've got to glue it down and all that. So I've done that one, and I'm tiling the ensuite at the moment. I've got a new appreciation for tilers. Tilers, you do an amazing job. It's harder than it looks, harder on your knees and your back than everybody thinks. Getting it done, but it's slow and my back aches a lot. And I've been also ripping out old wooden single pane windows, single glass pane windows, and putting UPVC sealed units and a lot in. So yeah, I'm busy and I am knackered. So I was kind of hoping that no one was going to be on the live stream tonight, so I can go, right, yay, I can go to bed. But no, so it doesn't matter. I'm quite happy to have as many people as you want, and I'll be here as long as I need to answer everyone's messages, and we'll talk about this. I will take my hoodie off in a sec because I am starting to warm up nicely. Right, let's go to people's comments. Abstract AV's hammer idea would probably, but thank you very much, Niels. That works. Is it ideal? No, it's not, but it works. So thank you very much, and it will work for tonight. That'll give me, well, I won't be here next week because I'm on honeymoon. So yeah, I don't think it'd be a good idea, although the wife won't mind if I do a very quick live stream from Morocco. Right, so let's get to everybody's questions because we have a few. Renee says, good evening. After a trip in the woods, my 8-iron is no longer power spec'd. Same loft as my pitching wedge. Wow, now that is a trip in the woods. Rough start to the season. Well, at least I'm scoring better. Hope everything is well with you. It is, Renee. Thank you very much. Probably got a little rendition of what's been going on in my life. And so you know what's, I've been busy. It's very, very busy. So I want to try and get as much done as I can do and then get back to YouTube. Because I did start a video, which is because I've got loads of things going on at the moment, which is I've got a video, got to come out with the improvements to a driver in one session. I managed to gain 40 odd yards or something like that with one guy when it comes to a driver session. I've got another one talking about risk conditions, adding loft at dynamic impact and the old classic cupping and all this lot. I've got a video about MP25. So last week's live stream kind of like, well, we're talking about different Mizuno irons, so we're just picking on Mizuno because of the fact that I've got DNA heads from 2014 or so. And people were talking about MP25, and I was thinking, well, do you know what? The new 225, Mizuno Pro 225, is a 30-degree 7-iron. Well, back in the day when MP25 was about, that was a 30-degree 6-iron. And I'm thinking to myself, I wonder how much difference there really is. If I can get the shaft lengths the same, and I can just basically use MP25 6-iron, Mizuno Pro 225 7-iron, both the same loft, we can then kind of work out all the stages, what difference is there? And if they go the same distance and they go the same peak height and they spin the same and they descend the same and they do exactly the same, one would argue, what difference has anything made? So that would have been an interest. Now there are differences. I won't want to sort of like spoil the video because I've done some of the work already, but it is quite an interesting result. But yeah, so I'm on the, again, I've got so much stuff to do. There you go. That's what's on my to-do list at the moment. All right, so capture the chat. Can you just capture the chat or just capture that? I don't know. I mean, sometimes you think to myself, should I mess around with something? So I'll just mess around whilst capture method. Window match priority. Oh no, yeah, cool, that'll do. I'm not going to mess around with it because if I mess around with it, I don't want to lose the chat. At least we have something on there so everyone else can obviously write what they want, see what they're is coming up, and everyone's and they obviously interact with each other as well. So Vishal says, Jay, are you prohibited from reviewing Strixon irons, particularly the Mark II irons? ZX7 5.4. If not, is it something you might do in the future? Absolutely, Vishal. I'm not prohibited as such. So the situation is literally this, and I'll be quite open and upfront and honest about it. When it comes to manufacturers, different manufacturers have different requirements, different thoughts, feelings about being or becoming a media partner. And so, again, let's be honest completely. I have a contact within Ping. Yeah, I'm not going to say who it is or anything else like that because I don't want to get them in trouble or have the spotlight put on them or anything else like that. I am not a media partner with Ping because Ping's requirements for media partner means you need so many YouTube followers, so many YouTube views, so many Instagram this and so many Twitter that. And I don't use Instagram and Twitter that much. I'm a YouTube person really only. I don't really use Facebook either because it's just those. I found YouTube is actually quite a respectful platform within reason. Of course you get the stupid comments from time to time and you get some trolls from time to time. But for at least the community that I've grown over the years, you guys are actually a really intelligent, respectful bunch. And when it comes to other platforms, they just seems to be just full of trolls. All they want to do is all the time, and it's just not a healthy place to be. And so, being honest, when it comes to the requirements, say, of Ping, do you know what? I may never be a media partner of Ping because I don't do Instagram. I could be Rick well, I don't know, when it comes to, if I could be Rick Shields of YouTube, but then nothing on Instagram, I think they would still bend the rules for like Rick Shields and stuff. But for me, yeah. But so for other companies, and I need to reach out again to Shrixon because, let's be frank, well, I can be John if you want, or Brian, but no, let's be honest. To do a YouTube video, I really need to be getting this stuff for free, right? Let's be honest, I need to, right? Because if the whole idea of me doing YouTube now, coming away from coaching and custom fitting full time to concentrate more on YouTube when I'm not doing like work and everything else that goes around, that I need to make a living from it. So if I'm basically just earning enough money in a review to cover the cost of buying the equipment to review, that's not a viable business. So really what I need to do is I need to get the equipment for free so I can then obviously make a certain amount of money on the video over the passage of time. So I need to be active. So I've got to work out a lot of things. It's not the easiest thing to do. So, but yeah, that's being honest. And other manufacturers, I obviously have reviewed TaylorMade stuff, Callaway stuff, a certain amount of Titleist stuff, although I'm struggling with the irons. Need to get hold. I've reached out to a local Titleist account, a local golf club, and wrote a nice message to ask the individual if I could just borrow the irons, the custom fit irons, or whether it is for a day or so I could do the review. Did not even reply. That's what I'm saying. It's a bit rude when it comes to certain things, but it doesn't matter. It's one of those things. Right, so let me get them off my soapbox. Let's go and have a look at the chat. So no, I will try and get in contact with Cobra, get in contact with Wilson would be a good one, and also Shrixon as well. And I really do want to get those Titleist irons too. Mark says, lol, like we would not turn up to your live stream. Mark, thank you very much. You're always welcome. Renee says, I'm wondering about the specs on irons for a long time. So this will be interesting, yes, about the MP25 and Mizuno Pro 225 comparison test, both same lofted. Just getting them in the same shaft lengths to make sure everything is like for like. Any chance you look at drivers with different lengths of shafts as well? Well, I'm trying to get myself a 48-inch driver shaft, and because I've got the ST230Z and the X, but I'll do it the STZ most probably, that's at 45 or so. I want to put the same shaft but in a 48-inch. And going from 45 to 48 is obviously a lot, and so that will be an interesting one for me to test anyway. But it will prove to me as well, because I've done tests before in short shafts, but I've never really done a 48-inch one, which will be fun to do. But that will be fun. John says, evening. Hello, John. Just got in from an average 9 holes this evening, but at least you've just had an average 9 holes. I can't remember the last time I played golf at the moment. I've been so busy. Now the wife is continuously badgering me to go play, and I would love to, and I will do. It's just that I've got so much work I need to do. Not just YouTube work, I've got so much work to do at home. It's, I've got a project. I've got a 5-year project there, and the wife would like a hot tub. And so for the hot tub to happen, obviously you've got to prepare for that, and electrics and all that lot. And yeah, Carl J26, hello Carl. If you had 2 wedges with the same bounce, do they react the same even though you have different lofts? If the loft is just the thing that changed, the design of the wedge hasn't changed, the bounce hasn't changed, and the sole widths hasn't changed, they would react very, 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 very similar. Yes, because as long as you're not changing your dynamics of golf club, as in changing how much you deliver dynamically different to each loft, or you don't change your angle attack. If you just, like a robot, you just swing exactly the same, and you had just different amounts of loft, and the amount of loft relative to zero obviously was the same, then yes, it would react basically exactly the same. Perry, hello Perry, hope you're well. My thoughts are, once someone can swing the club to resemble a golf swing, they should definitely get fit for this, fit to suit their height, posture, etc. So yes, Perry has got a good point in getting back to the whole idea of the live stream. The live stream is this: coaching or custom fitting. Do you need to be at a certain level to be able to fully utilize the possibilities of custom fitting? And there are many, many other questions within that. And of course, Perry's thoughts are the fact that you need to have some form of golf swing before. Okay, so my personal view, and I've obviously, if I had £1 for every single person I custom fit over the years, I'll go into that one in a sec, because I don't want to sort of go give too much too quickly. If not, there'll be nothing else to say afterwards. So Neil's saying, regarding the title, it's not coaching or custom fitting, it's coaching and custom fitting. Yeah. Well, so my view, and I'm going to do a snippet. My view is that a custom fit and a lesson is the same thing. A lesson and a custom fit is the same thing. Or they should be very, very, very well linked. If I'm doing a custom fit, I've always come out from a point of 50-50. Someone's coming in and they're warming up. Always use your own golf club to warm up first. Always use your own ball on a custom fit. Never use a range ball. Never use any other golf ball apart from the ball that you play. There's that. And then when it comes to fully warmed up, make sure you're fully warmed up before you test something else, because obviously if the fitter there is using you to warm up from a point of view your stuff that you're using to start with, and you're not fully warmed up before you go into the new stuff, and then he references what you've done at the start, that's not like for like, that's not right, because your swing speed will be down. But I've always come in from the point of view of I'm looking at the person and I'm saying, look, do you know what, your swing path is 10 degrees across, your face is 12 open, you are slicing the living daylights out of it. There is no way delivering 8-9 degrees toe down, dynamic lie, there is no way any fitter should fit for that individual, unless you have the conversation with that individual and that individual says, Jay, do you know what, I play golf 3 times a year, I've got no energy whatsoever to have lessons, I just want something which is going to do with whatever I bring, and this is what I bring swing wise, as good as it possibly can. That's a different story. But the vast majority of people want to get better. The reason why they're in for a custom fit is because they're wanting to spend money, they're wanting to invest in their own game, and obviously they need tuition. And so I'd always come out from that point of view, primarily. Neil, sorry, no, Carl J, 26, when you open the wedge, of course, when you open the wedge, yes, as long as the grinds are the same, as long as the sole width is, or width, you know, is the same, you'll be fine. If it's not, then it might have the same static bounce, but effective bounce will be different because of the fact that obviously the bigger the sole, as in the longer the sole, I haven't got one, I've got some wedges over there. But yeah, if the sole's 10 mil thick, that's a very small sole, but if it's 10 mil thick against 30 millimeters thick, same bounce angle, but because of the larger sole, it would have more effective bounce, especially when you start opening them up. Right, Slow swing speed says, Jay, to answer your question, most everyone can get help from a good custom fitting and or some knowledge coaching. I fit Mizuno, still learning. Everyone's still learning. Everyone should still learn. I am still learning. Now, I have spent countless hours researching different parts, looking at different scientific papers, physics papers, and people that know their stuff. I have, Google's listening to me. People that know their stuff, I have spent so much time pulling information which I deem useful and ignoring the chaff as such. You can learn a lot from this. Oh, I know something went wrong. Stop listening to me, you stupid thing. My Google's going, what? What did you say? Should I be doing something? Sorry. Oh, no. Go away. Leave me alone. Outrat AV, the iron spoiler, 6 versus 7 iron, mean the CG isn't really different. Again, that's an interesting one, because obviously golf clubs aren't just loft dependent. You can get them the same loft, you can get them the same shaft length, you can get them in the same shaft at the same shaft length. But because of the CG of the head, that will change, definitely. But what we're looking for really is we are looking for a ball speed increase, we are looking for a peak height increase, and we're looking for a descent angle increase, and we are looking for a distance increase. They are the markers. They're the 4 main markers of when you go for custom fitting. If you go for a custom fit and you're looking at 3 different irons, let's say you hit 3 different 7 irons or whatever they are, and you have a ball speed increase, you have a peak height increase, you have a descent angle increase, or decrease, but increase, more stopping power, and it goes further, that's free distance. And by all means, that is the one. Okay, some people swing fast enough you don't need free distance, I get that, where you have to look at gapping, the loft gaps between everyone. It's multifaceted, but yes, you are right. Sloan Swing Speed says, Jay, shaft technology changing fast, all clubs change, the manufacturer goal is product cost reduction. Yes, shaft technology changes fast, it does, because all manufacturers or shaft manufacturers have their core stuff that they do, and they will never deviate from that. You'll have your dynamic goals, which always make the S300, etc., or True Temper, and then you'll also get your likes of KBS that will always make their Tour, etc., etc. But yeah, you've got other parts, especially within the driver market and wood market, where they are really, and okay, they are expensive as well. So I mean, you're talking Upcharge. I mean, Titleist, very, very honest manufacturer, but they do a lot of upcharges. And when they do a lot of upcharges, you're already talking about a very expensive head. Then you add however much that shaft will be, it gets expensive. Is it Fenrica? Fenrica? Wood Stuff says, I've just been custom fitted for new irons, hybrids and fairway wood. Hopefully that was in 2 sessions. Got a follow-up on the driver fitting, but all along it involved a degree of coaching and onwards. Yes, so the reason why I said basically I hope that was in 2 sessions is because if you have an iron fitting and then go into fairway woods and hybrids and stuff like that, by the time you go, I always used to do this. I always used to do irons and wedges, but irons, up to whatever your longest iron will be that 3 iron, 4 iron, 5 iron, 6 iron, whatever it be. So 5 is generally speaking a very common place to stop nowadays. Gone are the days where people have 3 irons all the way down to pitching wedges. Lofts have changed anyway, but yeah. So a more modern day classic would be everyone has a 4 iron. Well, they shouldn't do just because the set had one. No, that's what a whole custom fit idea is. They don't produce enough speed, so the ball's just not going to go in at any kind of control. It's going to hit the green, if it does hit the green, and just scoot straight out the back. And so therefore then you need to land it before the green, and of course that's where you have bunkers and stuff, and yeah. If you go, what I used to try and do is this: if we've got a full bag fit, irons first. We get from your lowest iron, your wedge, whatever it be, up into say your 5 iron. Now we know your 5 iron is going to be your longest iron, right? Then we do, on your next session, we do driver. Yep. What is the longest club in the bag? Yep, we got that one. And then you're looking at one thing. This is how you should look at everything like this. Your golf bag has many slots, many slots. It doesn't mean you have to fill them. Golf clubs are expensive, and depending on your swing speed, you don't need to fill them all. And so I always used to look at every custom fitting as this. You get your irons, whatever your longest iron, 5 iron, 4 iron, whatever it is. Then you have your driver, and then you've got that as your distance gap. How little clubs do I need to fill that gap sensibly? And that's how it should be. And so, yes, generally speaking, irons can be quite long and drawn out, especially because obviously different manufacturers, different shafts and stuff like that. There's far more shaft options in an iron head combination than there is when it comes to a driver fit. But yeah. So Darren, hello Darren, Mr. Lee. How do you fit for blended iron sets? Where do you split, and how do you address gaps? Think ZX Mark 245, thanks in advance. It doesn't matter which manufacturer. Yeah, so loft is by far the most important thing when it comes to initial blending. You have to look at technology, yes, because technology within the head. If you're going to go from a blade to a player's distance iron, which would be like a hollow bodied idea, it doesn't matter. So if you're going to go from blade, blueprint, let's pick on blueprint, yeah, from Ping, because it's about that big. And then go into something like I525 in the longer irons. You have to be very wary of lofts. Now, because of the differences between lofts between I525 and blueprint is substantial, it would not be beneficial, potentially, this is my own view, I'm not saying I'm right, this is my opinion, to crank the crap out of the blueprints and the I525s to blend the lofts, because you're going to have to blend them even more because of the fact that obviously I525 has got a springy face past its loft. So if you were to go get a blueprint and go get an I525 with the exact same loft and hit them both, an I525 is going to go higher and it is going to go longer because of the springy face. You're going to get more ball speed, you've got lower further back CG, it will go up in the air more. Yeah, that's just physics. So then you have to start looking at dumbing even more difference between them. So in certain cases, I will look at doubling up a number. So having 2 7 irons, because it works. That means you don't have to mess around with cranking the living daylights out of golf clubs well beyond the designs really that they were functionally designed raw to be standard. And so, yeah. When it comes to the any manufacturer, doesn't mean restriction could be anyone. Loft first. Technology second. If you're going to go from a Titleist T100 and to a T4, well, I don't know if you would ever go. You know what I mean? You know where I'm going. That you would potentially have to be going 2 7 irons or something like that. Yeah, just be wary of it. I mean, that's effectively it's an answer to a question that would take absolutely ages, and we'd have to get specific with the manufacturer and specific with you as well, of which we can't, but you kind of got the idea. Fenrica says, what amazed me was the shaft tech, so many. Well, there's so many because there's so many different ways that people swing, and because there's so many different ways that people swing or load in transition, they pull on it in different ways, and obviously they twist on it as well. So here's my hand, there you go. They put twists on the shaft as they were, so when they got their golf club back on here, and then make sure they don't hit nothing, but they're putting twists on it, they're pulling it, and then they throw it and pull angles down at different things. So yeah, you're going to offend the shaft many different ways, different people. That's why they have so many shafts, because they're designed for people who offend the shaft in many different ways. Now, of course, you're going to get your core shafts that have been around since day dot, which if you look at any kind of statistical data analysis, you will always have a generalization. You'll have a mean line or right in the middle, where you would say that there is, if you were to assume that someone was going to be one way or the other, you'd be closer to the mark more of the time if you put it straight in the middle. And then you're going to be off a little bit here and a lot bit, yeah. And in the extremes, you'll be off, but equal amounts. But you still need to make shafts for those. So you'll find that obviously all the manufacturers of shafts, they make their core stuff for the majority of golfers that are going to be within a certain splattering around the middle. And then as all the ones that go around the outside, they'll make shafts for them as well. So you'll have a glittering array of shafts left, right, and centre. Vishal says, wonderful question, Darren. It was a wonderful question because it's, again, I could spend a live stream in itself just devoted to that whole topic of what just Darren says. Elaine, hello, hi. TaylorMade Sim 2 driver, 8 degrees, tack angle, 6 degrees up. I'm hoping that's not down. If that's a down, that's a very, very wedgy tack angle, so we're going up. Launch 16, dynamic loft 18, yeah. Height 105, 100 feet, so that's what, 33? Yeah. I think 35, something like that, doesn't matter. Spin 1800, notice my shots go high and dip out the sky short. Oh, abstract AV. I don't know if that's going to come through. I hope that comes through because that comes through seemingly faster. Why is that not updated? That's interesting. Oh, there it goes. It's updated. Oh, this is going to drive me. Oh, hello. Hang on a minute. I might have figured out something here. This could be good. I'm doing this on the fly, only because of abstract AV. So I'm messing around here, and I'm just gonna try and get what I need to on here, because we're having the problem with. Oh, there we go. Look at that. There we go. I'm amazed. I amaze myself sometimes. Ready? Now, tell me if that chat's too small. If that chat is too small, obviously I'll make it bigger. But if it's too small, I'm more than happy to make it slightly larger. Wow. Abstract AV, thank you very kindly for your kind donation. That warms my cockles when anyone does that. Really, really does. Right, so let's get back on to, where were we? Yes, so the reason why your shots, Alain, the reason why your shots, because you can see Alain's question up there now. Yes, you can, cool. Because your spin level is dangerously low, 1800 RPM, revolutions per minute, depending on what your swing speed is, and we don't know what your swing speed and your ball speed is. If your ball speed is anything under 150 lovelies, not kilometers an hour, miles an hour, then that is going to have distinct issues with staying in the air. If you get a downwind, now this is where people don't understand this, so not too small, remember we have the chat as well, so if too small we can cheat below the stream. Yes, you can, there you go, cheat. There's many different ways and Niels can tell you how to cheat in the live stream world. So yeah, remember when it comes to wind, people think that if you have a downwind the ball's going to go further. That's what you've always been told this, that if you get downwind you've got to allow a certain amount. Now that's very much so correct with irons. Why? Because obviously irons spin the golf ball, generally speaking, far, far more than the driver. With a driver though, if you do have a downwind, that reduces the effect or the effectiveness of your backspin number. Your golf ball is still going to be spinning at 1800 RPM, no problem. But in a downwind situation, that will make the problem of basically just, in effect, the ball doesn't care, all it sees is airflow, or it feels as airflow, and obviously the aerodynamics works with the airflow. If you have a 30 mile an hour downwind, but remember, it doesn't have to be 30 miles an hour at ground level because you feel a certain draft wind. When you go up 40 feet in the air, 50 feet in the air, 60, 70, 100 feet in the air, the wind is decidedly more is decidedly quicker and more ferocious up there. And so what you feel down here is one thing. How the golf ball feels it is two completely different things. And of course that can reduce the effectiveness of your backspin, and it ought to basically just fall out of the sky. So it can be exceptionally 1800 RPM. I would like to see, if you were saying that your swing speed's 108 miles an hour, your ball speed's 155, and I'm hitting 1800 RPM with the dynamics that you're saying before, I'd say let's get your baseline spin around about 2-1. Because if you have a certain situation like that, it will reduce it artificially, but you won't lose a bucket load of distance. You will lose a little bit of your baseline, of course you will do, but then you won't also, if you hit it slightly high toe and reduce the spin through gearing, again, you're not going to get a further reduction from 1800 to, yeah, so that's the worry about having spin rates as low as 1800 as a baseline. So, Vishal says, adding on top of Darren's question, splitting sets, would you keep same shafts throughout? Generally speaking, yes, I would do, depending on obviously the individual and how they want their set to be made up. Now, the only times I generally speaking would change shafts is within the wedges and for feel purposes, or necessarily there for golfers that don't use a lob wedge, say, as they would do their pitching wedge or their 9-iron, they don't hit it full. When I say full, I don't mean full out, as in like rah, I just mean their normal speed. I swing my 58 degree, my 54 degree, my 50 degree normal speed, so I have my gapping built from then. There's some people that don't use their lob wedge full. They never do. They only use it at 50% or little chips and pitches and stuff like that. So therefore you don't have to require the bend profile matched shaft for your wedges, because you don't offend the shaft in the same way, because you just don't swing it as fast. But generally speaking, what I may do when it comes to maximum is that if I was going to go, say, like a 4 or 5 iron, but the individual wanted a shaft which is going to be a touch more, or should I say, helpful when it comes to launching, you could go down a weight class. So going, say, like from a Dynamic Gold 120 stiff to a 105 stiff, and I'd want to test it in a 7-iron to see, if you can do it blind tested, obviously that's the best way possible, but I'd want to test it first of all to see what the differences are, to see if there's even a game. So I just want to pop a few thank yous very, very quickly first, because I've just seen them pop in. Renee has donated, I don't even know what that is. What's a knock? Anyone? Anyone get on there and don't Google it. If you Google it, you've cheated and you don't win a star. What is a knock? So, there we go, Niels is on it. Norwegian krona. Oh yeah, because you have, is it DKK, Niels? Because you're Danish krona. Norwegian krona. So Fenrica was in there as well, but didn't quite pip Niels, and so did Don. Don was in there as well. So Don got second place, Fenrica got third, but Niels is on it in first place. Well done. So thank you very, very much. And also Vishal. I cannot stress enough just how kind that was. That is a very, very kind donation, really was. Knock does not mean enough, does also mean enough in Norwegian. Does it? Knock does also mean enough. So you've had 100 enoughs. Thank you very much. And also, I mean, Vishal, that's wonderful. Abstract AV, thank you very, very much. It's very, very, very kind of you. IJ, second is best loser. That is true. I have been best loser a few times. Actually, do you know what? In golf, it doesn't matter. You lose far more times than you win. You need to learn to lose in golf, because you're going to lose a lot. Now, whether that's a playing partner thing when it comes to just having a friendly match, and as long as you've got handicaps the same, because if you're winning constantly, your handicaps aren't quite right. And then, yeah, I will just make sure this is updating properly. Yes, it is, good. I just want to make sure it's updating properly. but yeah, so that's the great thing of it. Right. Let's get back to some questions after some very, very, very kind. It is as exceptionally kind donations, very much so. Right, let's get back to it. Where were we? Oh, Roy Tuxford, got to get to you because we were getting a bit crazy, didn't we? Fenrica says was at least 6 sessions. Good. Good. Spread it over as much as you can. Perry Mason says, Upcharge, dirty word for Mizuno. They do have a shaft which is Upcharge, that's steel fibre. I-95, I don't like the whole idea of a Upcharge shaft. That's a personal thing. And all the fittings I've done for shafts and stuff like that, I have never, in my time, ever come across a situation where I have been railroaded into having to select and having to suggest an Upcharge shaft. I have always managed to get the same performance, the exact same consistency and feel from, and okay, the reason is because obviously Mizuno don't have many. They only have, I think, one. They have some tall shafts, like in the wedges, well, like the spinny shafts and stuff, which are Upcharge, but again, they're so rare. But we're talking like main shafts, just for iron shafts, they only have one, I believe. So yeah, vast range of shafts and grips with no Upcharge. Yes, Perry, absolutely right. That's the one good thing I found, has always found with Mizuno over other manufacturers, is because they just do. You pay, and I've still got the MP. I can't show this without giving it a good old polish. You never have a shiny head without giving it a good old polish beforehand. Favorite clubs ever, I think these are MP5s. Yeah, Mizuno, you pay for that. What comes attached to it when it comes to whatever's this, it's irrelevant. It's cost free. That is the expensive bit. That's the bit you pay for. And that's what I do like. At least the golfer knows exactly what they're going to be walking into when it comes to how much stuff costs, and stuff does cost quite a bit nowadays. Right, so Roy Tuxford. Hello, Roy. I hope you're well. Thank you very, very much for your question. Isn't the issue not which, but which to do first? A custom fit will, if successful, provide you with the best kit for your swing. But if you then get coached, your swing may well change. So that's a very, very good point, Roy. Now, I've always tackled it this way. So if I don't know the individual, say Brian Brown, that's his name, there's a new one. Yeah, Brian Brown walks in, Jay, I'd love to get custom fit. So especially when I was doing custom fitting and coaching full time when I was at Bury Golf Range, I was a lot of the time I had this. And they were either, well, they're different people, but you either had like people that are avid golfers, absolutely want to get better. They've already had about 1 billion lessons, and they're really. You get people that are recreational people that just, the old set of golf clubs are 28 years old now, and of course things have changed. And yeah, and then you obviously got people that play 4 times a year and stuff like that. So you do get like a range of people. Now, when it comes to people's swings, if their swing is so bad, as in like ridiculously bad, and so when I mean ridiculously bad, I mean their swing dynamics are such that they're delivering toe downs like this and stuff like that. I mean, like that kind of bad. You cannot fit for individuals that are whacking the living daylights out of the ground, delivering 10 degrees toe down on the lie angle. You swinging 10 across or whatever, you can't do it. You can't responsibly do it. You have to be open and quite diplomatic, because it is a little bit of a difficult thing sometimes for people to hear that they've actually come in for a custom fit thinking they're going to go buy a nice shiny set of golf clubs, and you're there from a professional point of view saying, man, your swing's bad. Like, I wouldn't say it that way, but you think like you really need to swing, because what's going to happen is at one point, obviously you love your golfs and you want to change and you want to get better, and you are going to at one point invest in lessons to a point of where this is going to fix your swing, and then the requirements that you'd want to get fit into now are completely different to what you're going to need later. You have an absolute point. You really do, Roy. Now, again, when it comes to people that are swinging across, I would do a really, really quick, rather than just saying that, I would do a really quick 5-minute lesson, as in like changing completely in 5 minutes, to showcase the improvements that they can have if they were to have proper lessons and proper learning cycles, yeah. It kind of shocks them into thinking, wow, really? Can I do, yeah, I just did that. Well, these are with my own golf clubs. So how far are these new ones going to go? And well, there you go, that's the whole idea. But you cannot be fit for that unless you do this kind of move, or you learn how to do this, and where you discuss having lessons. It doesn't have to be with me, it can be with anyone if you've got a trusted pro and blah, 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 absolutely fine. But that's an important thing. And then you do have that conversation. But generally speaking, Roy, that most people are able to be fit. Most people are able to be fit if you have a good coach stroke custom fitter, and they should ideally be both. The reason why I was so successful doing coaching and custom fitting, or custom fitting mainly when it comes to this scientific based stuff, is because I do both. And so I don't just come at it from a point of view of how much money can we get out of that individual. I'm looking at how much more fun can I make this individual have playing golf? Because look, let's be honest, people in the golf industry, they're making their living, they're lucky enough to make their living out of other people's fun. Now, and so in that sense, it is absolutely, absolutely important that we need to ensure that we are making it fun for people. Because if they don't, they'll just stop playing and then we wouldn't have a job. So, I mean, it's not just they're trying to get money out of them, it's for them to have fun. The more fun they have, then of course, yeah. But yeah, so, if I do this, can you see me move? I don't know if you can. I'm moving up and down, make sure I haven't missed any questions. So, so our Goldfish says, oh, hang on, we missed Niels. One, should you not choose between coaching and getting properly fit for the right equipment? You should continuously be coached. Get fit when it makes sense, but still continue to get coached. Absolutely right. Yeah. There's more thing I can say on that, but Niels, no, you are right, definitely. Goldfish, better players have forward shaft lean impact, mid to high handicappers don't. So why don't give them stronger lofted irons? Because of they're incapable of understanding wrist conditions. And so I am a great believer, you don't just put something in someone's hands to change a swing fault. A characteristic is different, but if you put something in their hands which you are trying to fix a swing fault, that's just it may artificially initially help them, but they won't actually improve, because if anything, what they end up doing is doing what they did before, even more, worse. And it just very slowly gravitates to going back, oh, I've had these irons for 3 months now, I thought they were working, but if anything, they're just doing what they did beforehand, and they're a waste of money, and no, it's you. When you measure people's wrist conditions and what they do at impact, it is like, whoa, yeah. You want to hit a golf ball further, because you swing a certain speed, you don't get as much out of it as you should do. You think you hit everything to the moon, what you're actually making more reference to is your initial launch angle, not your actual peak height, then yeah, but yeah, you are right. Renee says, when I got fitted, I was fitted for T300, old version. I now deliver the club with a little too much loft, so I get lessons to fix this. People told me I would never get the 300 stop on greens. I love when people have comments about something without understanding how other individuals swing a golf club. It's brilliant. Every golfer has an opinion. Renee says, but they usually stop within 1 meter. Yeah, that's fairly decent stopping power. Abstract says, get you and the wife a drink for the honeymoon. Thank you very, very much. Again, that's very, very kind of you. Neil says, not too small. Remember, oh, we're going back on there. See, that's how far I've got so many corrections to go back on. It's like, wow. You've still got some more to come through. Hang on, let's see if there we go. You can see that's how bad it is. It's good. Keep them coming. I try my best to answer every single person. Now, in a situation like this, people would have a time limit. So I'm on here for 30 minutes, an hour, or whatever, and then you would have to pick certain questions. I try as best I can do. I mean, you are spending your time, and in some cases, donating lovely, very, very, very kind sums of money to support me and what I do, and so I feel it is important. I try and go through every single person's comment, so bear with me on this one, but it's good. Thank you. Vishal says, Jay, let me ask something. I've been wondering for a while. When getting fit, one hits off a mat, then which has some springiness, yes, but can never replicate when playing real golf in a fairway rough. This is kind of true. Now, if let's, you're not going to be able to see it very well, but let's just imagine. So you see, see my chat doesn't work now. I'll bring it back because I haven't duplicated the window across. Doesn't matter. I'll bring it back. So that's my area, and you can see there that see. Hello, I'm over here. Over there's the quad, and then there is my divot mat. Now my divot mat is, as divot mats go, is possibly one of the most realistic situations when it comes to allowing a golf ball to be hit high on the face, where most mats, if you hit it, it'll bounce the golf club into it. I mean, so many people have actually gone to having a really good range session, and they've come away from the range session really pumped, thinking, I've had a really good. I've watched them been hitting shots, and they've just fatted every single one, but they've hit the range mat, which has gone a da-dunk, 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 like that, and so it does depend very much so on what artificial surface you get fit on. Something that allows the golf club to dig in the ground if you're going to hit the ground before the golf ball is very advantageous. Now, it's obviously never going to be able to recreate the conditions of soil. Why? Because my very expensive screen would look fairly brown fairly quickly. But there are certain situations where if you're looking at raw strike, so if we're talking about a fitting on the basis of the mats will artificially make my poor ones look better, or which they do, especially driving range mats and stuff like that. Good mats don't so much. They do take some distance off, definitely. Mine one will take, if you hit the ground first, the divot mat will allow the golf club to sink into the floor while the ball stays there, and you hit high on the face. And if you hit high on the face, obviously there's no mass that high on the face, and you get a really horrid shot. A driving range mat would bounce beforehand and basically hit the golf ball, and it will go a long way and everyone's a winner. No. In the real world, when you hit soil, that would just be like a lump, a cubic yard of Ohio or whatever would come out, and the ball would travel a certain distance, not very far, and the divot would probably near enough go as far. So yes, you are right. But however, if you're looking from a point of view of when you hit the golf ball, whether you hit the golf ball off a mat or whether you hit the golf ball off of grass, it actually makes no difference. Now, I have hit shots off with a quad, with my quad. Where is it? Where is the old girl? There she is, with my quad there. I have hit shots in here off artificial grass, and I've hit shots on the grass with quad. No difference at all, absolutely none. No spin rate difference, no nothing difference. TXG have done the exact same test. They did a test with mat on a mat and mat on a grass, and they basically found very, if not no difference, no statistical difference between grass and mat. And so it very much does depend on the contact point. If you are going for shots where we are talking very much so about, if you're going to hit the small ball before the big ball, as in the golf ball before the planet Earth, if you're going to hit the small ball first, very little, if no difference whatsoever, none. If you're going to talk about when you hit the ground first, then yes, there is quite a big difference. But then again, we are not looking to hit the ground first. And if you're making a distinct iron-based choice on the fact that you hit the ground first, no, I'd be fixing that first would be a good idea. Vishal also says, how do you hit high or low then on an iron when hitting off a mat? Well, you can hit high on my mat especially, a bit more difficult to hit high on a mat, so like a driving range mat, because it will want to bounce the golf club. It's quite firm, it will want to bounce the golf club into it and give you an artificially, excuse me, YouTube Winnie Pops. I need a YouTube drink. There you have a word with it. Bear with. Right, and so betting low on the mat, that's easy done. You can thin anything, always thin it, never fat it. That's a piece of advice for every single golfer. Anyone listening who's ever hit a golf ball, always make sure you do two things. One, if you're going to miss it, vertically on the face. Never high, always low. Yep. Laterally, never heel, always toe. Never high, always low, never heel, always toe. It rhymes and it works. There you go. So thank you very, very much, Rishal. That's very, very kind of you. For a nice dinner for you and the missus. You are a wonderful individual. Niels, going Norwegian Krona, this is how far back I am. I'm getting there. Keep answering questions because I am getting there now. I am getting to a point of why I am nearly catching up. Right. Adam, hello Adam, hope you're well. Adam Velasquez says, hi Jay, about to hop on a plane from New York to London. Are there any public golf courses, the ladies' dad and I can play close to town or close to London? There are absolutely loads. There are so many. I mean, I would not, Google's your friend on this one because there are so, I mean, I could spend ages with this one because it's saying, what type of golf course you want, how long a golf course do you want to play, what facilities do you want at it, do you want attached driving ranges, do you want this, do you want that? I mean, wow, we could be here. If you're going for, Google it and go on reviews and to see what the, yeah, but I tell you what, when you land in London, message me. And I'll see if I can suggest one or two. Wow, good on you. Right. Danish Krona DKK. That's what it was. Yeah, Neil's brother. Renee says knock does not. Oh, that's how far, mate. Chase second lows better. Oh yeah, we go. Will a phone benefit me? There we go. Golf. I am right up to it now. I am caught up. So Golfish says, will a fitting benefit me? 60 years old, 13 handicap on easier courses, never fitted. I can play just as well with strong or weak grip, hands high or low or in between. I think I am a chameleon. Oh, that's funny. Well, why not? Go somewhere which is reputable, go somewhere which isn't on commission based, go somewhere which has one of them. Yep, use your own ball. So TrackMan is brilliant. The problem is, well, it's brilliant because it is very, very good in a certain aspect. So's that. That is brilliant in a certain aspect. Everyone's, when it comes to, yeah, YouTube, itchy snozzer. Every manufacturer of launch monitors have their strengths and weaknesses. Now, Quad has many, many, many strengths because it directly measures. There is no guesswork in it. There's no calculated understanding of it. There is no, the problem with TrackMan, there's certain issues that everyone or a lot of people are aware of. Yeah. Now, if you're going to go for a fitting and you're at a range hitting balls, yeah, there'll be you hitting range balls. Well, great. You can hit a range ball if you want. However, that's not the greatest idea because obviously you don't play with a range ball. And if you go onto some places which have TrackMans and they hit premium golf balls, that's brilliant. If you play the very premium golf ball that you are hitting. Because if you don't, your own golf ball will launch a certain way and it will spin a certain amount. And depending on you're talking about speed. Now, honestly, okay, if it was me at my speed, 92 miles an hour, fully warmed up, when it comes to a 7-iron, if you give me two different golf balls, they would react differently, potentially. Yes, they would do. And there will be associated gains, good bits, bad bits with those golf balls. Absolutely right, will be, yes, definitely. However, let's be honest. Oh, there's my mouse. There you go, you can see me in my mouse. When it comes to it, the slower swinger is going to have a much more tolerance threshold when it comes to spin rate, and that tolerance level could get dangerously close one way or the other if you use different types of golf balls and then different technology. If you change a golf ball from whatever you normally play to whatever the fitting arena has to offer, that could put you in into a spin profile different to what you normally are, and so then your transition-based golf clubs, where you go from a 5-iron to a 4 hybrid or whatever it would be based on certain things, may change. And so therefore, I would always say use your own ball if you can. The problem is, obviously, most TrackMan places won't allow to do that because you hit out on the open. That's why that thing is always the best when it comes to fitting, because it physically measures everything, and you can use your own golf balls because it's hitting into a screen. That algorithm on that GC quad is ridiculous. They have been around now for quite some time. They have proven to be the best fitting launch monitor, and arguably the best custom fitting and coaching launch monitor about. They've got some restraint parts to it, yes, but restrictions as well. When it comes to a TrackMan's so much better at actually physically tracking a ball, absolutely, because it can understand atmospherics where quad can't. You can program atmospherics into a quad, but that's not the whole idea. Don't want to get off the subject too much. Don says, Skål means beer in Norwegian, for your information. Does it really? We used to have a beer called Skål. There you go. Learn something new every day. So, who is Hank Martin, and why is he hungry? Isn't it Hank Marvin? Not Martin, Hank Marvin. I thought it was, I'm Hank Marvin, starving. There you go, Cockney rhyming slang. That's why it's not Hank Martin, it's Hank Marvin, starving. Don, oops, sorry, all means beer. Astra AV, 4 hybrids is a stiff 950 GH Neo, love it. 4 hybrid is a stiff, yeah, okay, love it. Wedges, KBS Tour 120 stiff. What have I got in here? I have got a KBS dollar taper 120, but the pen profile between a Tour 120 and a dollar taper 120 is basically identical. Love them. Struggle with my irons using Dynamic Gold 105 stiff, and recommendations of what to test, try. Well, okay, if you're looking at, okay, a DG 105 stiff has still got a fairly stiff tip. Let's have a little look. Let's have a little quick look, see if I can do this on the fly. If I can't do this on the fly and it just takes too long, then I obviously won't. It's updating, as you can see, probably in the background. There you go. There's my Mizuno DNA software, which I will literally start, test, whatever, iron fitting. Let's just do 85, 5, 5, 5, 5, doesn't matter. Finish that one. Select JPX forged, why not, doesn't matter. And let's get this window slightly bigger. And what we were saying, Dynamic Gold 105, weren't we? Have I got it on here, 105? Right, go. So, right, let's see if I can actually get this one up on the screen as a second window capture. So let's add window capture 4, because I haven't got time to whack it in there. And there we go. So right, let's go and make it a little bit bigger and no flick over. Ready? Okay, so this is for Abstract AV. I'm doing this because you very, very kindly donated earlier on, so I'm making an extra special effort to say thank you. Right, so if you look at your 105, so this is, my mouse going? So my mouse is just above there. You can't see my mouse because OBS doesn't add the mouse in unless I ask it to, but it does matter. You can see I am on Dynamic Gold 105. You can see by the orange on the bottom right hand pane that you've got the Dynamic Gold 105 has a fairly weak bend profile. From the right hand side, that's the butt section, and on the left hand side is the tip section. So obviously it always gets weaker at the tip. Why? Because, well, it's smaller. the shaft is thinner, shaft is smaller, so we all get weaker. However, in different shafts, obviously we have different bend profiles. So if we go, have we got a 120, because that is like ridiculous. I don't think we've got one in here. I'll add one in so you can see for fun. I'll show you what I mean when it comes to certain type of, there we go. Right, there you go. So I've just added in now, my mouse has popped up now. I've just added in the NS Pro Modus 120 stiff, a really wacko shaft. It has got the most ridiculously weak section, 3/4 of the way, 2/3, 3/4 of the way down the shaft, and you can visibly feel it when you just try and bend the shaft. It really just, but it has got quite a stiff tip. You can see that curve go aggressively back up again. So no different when it comes to the 105 stiff. It's not the most, it's not the firmest shaft in the world at all. I mean, you can go to its bigger brother, the 120 stiff. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. You can see there, it's got a similar pattern. It is just considerably stiffer. And so, yeah, but it has still got that stiff tip. Abstract AV was saying, struggle with my irons using a Dynamic Gold stiff. So if I would then move over to a 120, if I can find a KBS Tour 120, there you go. Look at that, look at the different tip section. It is a distinctly different tip section. And so hence that will change dynamic loft, that will change, well, many different things, but it could change strike point, absolutely. And you'll be able to flight differently with that shaft because of the bend profile distinct differences between that and the there we go, and the Dynamic Gold 105. So hopefully that has become helpful. Right, so Don says, just ordered my new wedges, Vokey SM9s. 50, 8 degrees bounce, 56, 10 degrees bounce, yeah, and 62, 62. Go for it. 8 degrees, M-grind, good wedges. They do some really good wedges when it comes to Vokey. I think, are Vokey the best wedges in golf? No. Have they got some of the best selections though, and best options? Absolutely. Perry says, what did you find the most frustrating aspect of being the right? People that don't practice, they come for a lesson, spend valuable money learning something, and they don't practice it. Because I gave you 10 Japanese words right now, down the lens. If I knew Japanese, I ain't got a clue what it's like, yeah. If I gave you X amount of words, it could be 5, doesn't matter. And I said to you, right, your job is to take these 5 words away, and I will see you this time next week. Never a great fan of doing weekly lessons, generally speaking, but because that individual needs time to be able to go and digest that information they've learned in the lesson and then practice it in a way that they can then build on that when they come back from their next lesson. Unless they have a very free, open schedule, generally speaking, once a week isn't sufficient time for them to be able to, yeah, I digress a little bit, but what was I saying? Yes, and so if I gave you those 5 words and you go home and you don't even look at those 5 words for the next week, come back, you're going to be like, I say, how'd you get on with your 5 words? What are they? And you're like, yeah, we're going to be going over those same 5 words again. Well, why are you paying money if you are not going to put in the work yourself to be able to make use of it? Now, there are some people that they are very, very busy people. They are very, very successful people. They haven't got time in their life to devote the time they need to practice. And so for those very few people, they use situations of coaching as a supervised practice form, which is obviously expensive, but very, very useful. It's the most targeted form of practice that anyone could ever have, but it's expensive doing. And so, yeah. People who don't put the effort in, even though they say what they say in a lesson. Because my point is, look, I'm quite happy to help as much as little as you want. But if you want to get better, you need to do this, and if they don't do it, that's not my fault. You can be the best coach on the planet, but if you've got a really shocking student, client, whatever you want to call them, makes no difference. They're still going to be shocking. Yeah, so, right. Niels, Goldfish, the forward shaft lean is not to decrease loft, but it's about the whole physical system and interaction dynamics. So just give them loft. So just giving them loft is not helping with the strike. Oh, Niels, you and I need to have a chat about that one, because that's a really in-depth and interesting sentence with a comma or two. So I'd like to spend more time breaking that answer down and getting more into that, but I think other people would be bored. Mark Dennis, hi Jay, what's your opinion of being fit for irons, generally with a 7-iron only? Is this accurate for an entire set for the gap wedge, for example? Let's get back onto here so we can actually make sure this is updating. It is the wrong one. Where are we going? There? Oh, hang on. There we go. Cool. Right. I did a video a long while ago now on why we get from about a year and a half ago, I suppose, 2 years ago maybe, about the swing DNA tool and why we get fit with the 7-iron. That's just not Mizuno, that's Ping, that's everyone now. They've moved away from other clubs and we're all gone 7-iron. Now remember, that's a ridiculous thing anyway, because all 7-irons aren't equal. They're all different lofted. So again, we could be playing with different lofts. I mean, it's equivalent to a 6-iron in one and, yeah, anyway, an 8-iron in another. So what you're looking at is this thing. I'm looking at a 45-degree. Under normal circumstances, normal conditions, you're talking a golfer of normal speed and stuff like that. You're talking about slightly, obviously, distinctly slower, then you've changed your guidance a little bit in your ballpark. But generally speaking, I'm looking at a 40 to 45-degree descent angle. I'm liking a number of 45 degrees. And that point of which that flight starts becoming a little bit daft. So let's face it, if you're hitting a 7-iron, regardless of what it is, it's going whatever distance it's going, because that's how fast you swing, and it's going at 49 degrees descent angle, 50 degrees descent angle, you are absolutely going to be able to be going 6-iron and 5-iron in that. 4-iron, probably not, because you're going to be a 7-iron will go, say, 49 degrees descent angle into a green, and then your 6-iron will be going 44, something like that. Yeah, no worries. 5-iron's now going to be around about 41-ish, something like that, because there is a certain, and I won't bore you with the calculation, but it's more of a kind of a mental thing in my head, that the faster you go, the higher it goes, the more descent angle you have, and so those numbers change. The slower you go, the more aware you have to be of descent angle changes as you're going along. Now, generally what I had at the range constantly was a bag. I mean, I've got a bag. If I show you, if I transition over to, there you go. Right, so top right hand window on the left hand side, you've got all the bags. Now on the left hand side there, I've got some golf clubs leaning up against the blue one. In that bag, I have got a load of, no, which one is it? Yeah, it's that one. I've got a load of clubs which are different lofted, so 5-irons, 4-irons and stuff like that, which I have had when it comes to media samples, like no different to the right hand bag that you can see there. That has all the JPEX 923 stuff and all other stuff is in there as well. But in there is my 7-irons and my 4-irons. Now, when it comes to doing fittings, I'd get one of them out, and I'm adamant I want a 4-iron. I'm adamant, look, John, you swing at 79 miles an hour with a 7-iron. You are not going to have sufficient speed to launch this 4-iron. I want to have a 7-iron. All right, go on then. It's your time you're wasting. Give him a 7-iron. Give him a 4-iron. And then he would hit it, and he'd love it. Of course it would do, right? But it would go in like an Exocet missile. It's going like that. It hits even a simulated green and just flips right out the back. Yeah, just disappears out of the back of the green. Now he's going, oh, wasn't that a good shot? Yeah, it was a good shot. When's your next one going to be played from now? What's behind the green? A river, a bunker, just rough, trees, what? I mean, that's gone out, that's not controllable. Oh, I'll tell you what I need to do. I can flight this, I'll land it short and bounce it on. Okay, then he proceeds to do that. Well done, John. Yeah, well done. Good ability to be able to do that. What happens if there's a bunker, or there's like a false front, or there's slope? Into what are you going to do then? It's because he hasn't got the speed. This is a fictitious John. They're not picking on any particular or all people named John. I'm just picking on a fictitious understanding of where people think I must have a 3-iron, I must have a 4-iron, even though they don't swing fast enough to have any form of control on that. And so then they classically go, well, do you know what? I want something to hit from underneath a tree. Right, so you're going to use the 4-iron, which has got less loft, yeah, but has got a longer shaft for an iron, and you're worried about a tree above you and all branches? Can't you just learn to dynamically deliver less loft with, say, a 7-iron? Shorter shaft, won't hit the trees as much. There you go, doesn't matter. That's me. Yeah, and unfortunately that's frustrating when you have people that will not listen. I'm not there to persuade people. I'm there to give honest, professional advice to make their game better. And if they want to take it, they take it. If they don't, that's absolutely fine. I'm not going to say they're wrong because I can't see them play. I can see them when they hit, and I'm okay. But yeah, right. So. Got fitted for wedges on grass, not on a mat. Yes, if you're going to go for so this is what Don says. Don Geek is actually cake. Don Cake. I remember something like cake. Don fitted for grass, for wedges on grass. Yes. So when you are wedges, we are talking about wedges, and we are talking about the nuance of wedges and bounce, turf interaction. Especially with your lob wedge, and you're talking about chip shops around the green and stuff like that. Absolutely, if you're going to go into it that much, absolutely it needs to be on grass. Absolutely, you cannot do it in an artificial environment. For the vast majority of people, when it comes to, especially what I did at the range, obviously range was an indoor environment mainly, and so I was saying to the people that are really particular about their wedges, go somewhere else. Go somewhere where it has a proper short game facility and a coach which just spends all their time just doing short game stuff, because that's ideal. As long as they don't make commission from anything they sell, because of course then we're talking about, are they selling because that's what you need, or are they selling because they make money out of it? But yeah, but most of the people that I was dealing wedges with were looking at adding them onto the set of when it comes to their golf clubs, and you're talking about the people which really aren't good enough to be able to understand the nuanced differences between grinds, bounce for one, with relative loft, and then also sole thicknesses, and yeah, so, but absolutely right. Class screws, thin to win, absolutely, yeah. Never high, always low, never heel, always toe. There's never a hosel on the toe. There you go. Right. Golf geeks unite on class screws, absolutely. Perry Mason, I was fitted for my Mizunos at 60. Why not? Doesn't have to be 60, 70. I've fit 80-year-olds before. Brett Larson, hello Brett, hope you're well. I brought a sleeve of my game mat in here during the final decision time. Fitting was all for it. Well, if he's on an outside range, I probably was, because he's going to be out there with the old collector, and he's going to be collecting them, sticking them in the shop and selling them as basically freshies, because I don't think he'll be giving back to you. You never know. Renee says, skål means cheers in Norwegian, so skål, have a great evening. Yeah, I like that. Oh, yeah, talk about that. YTD. Oh, this talking is thirsty work. Right, here we go. Ren, I know we've done Renee's one. Stephen Ferris. Hello, Stephen, hope you're well. It's a new name. Ever been on before? Never commented, I don't think, but Good to have you. Hi Jay, when I warm up before a round, I go on the range and use my Garmin G80 Approach launch monitor as a guide, which is generally accepted as reasonably accurate. Reasonably, yeah. I'm told range balls are carry 80%. Okay, so different range balls are different. You get different categories of range ball. The most common range ball is one of the most common ones is the Restriction range ball, and of course it comes in different ones there. But we had at the range, because of the length of the range, we had restricted flight balls. They reacted very, very similarly to a normal golf ball. They felt normal and stuff like that, but they would launch lower and spin more. So absolutely, when it comes to a 58, a pitching wedge, or anything else like that with lots and lots of loft, there would be no difference whatsoever in the carry distances of that golf club. Now, as soon as you start taking loft off, you start taking deflection out of the calculation or the situation. Because it's launching lower and starts spinning more, it starts really hurting the stronger lofted golf club. So yeah, it would get a reduction. But it's good the fact that before the round you go and practice, because that's the best way to do it. Don Cake has just popped in saying is €2.49. Thank you very, very much. You remembered. Thanks, Jay. How can I like cake? I'm not a chocolate cake kind of person, really. Yeah. My boy Cam, he loves cake. He loves chocolate cake. My little girl Grace, she loves cake. Of course, she loves cake. She went for a stage when she was really young, and she would only basically eat meat. If it was once alive, she would eat it. She didn't like anything else, but she'd eat that. It's funny. But thank you very, very much. And so Stephen, I'm told range balls carry 80% of normal golf balls. Does my G80 give me a carry reading of a range ball or normal ball? I.e., does it know it's dead ball because it reacts like a dead ball? So generally speaking, it won't react like a dead ball. It will launch lower, spin more. So your G80 should pick up the launch conditions of the golf ball, hopefully. I mean, I haven't spent too much time with the G80. This is the problem with obviously launch monitors. Now, when you have things like that, that is, although anyone on eBay at the moment, and I won't go on eBay and stuff like that, but I like keeping abreast of what the market is doing in certain different things. And Don just says everyone loves cake. I wish. I'm a little, yeah, it's funny. I like to keep abreast of what's going on when it comes to the world of launch monitors, how different people are perceiving launch monitors, and TrackMan SkyTrack 2's coming out, which will be an interesting one. It needs to be better than SkyTrack 1, but it will be. So, I like carrot cake too, Don. Yeah, I do like carrot cake. But there are some really good deals on at the moment. If you're on eBay, there are some quads going on at the moment, ridiculously cheap. And why? Because it's the time of year. If you need to sell a launch monitor, for the love of all that's holy, if you are selling a launch monitor, why on earth would you do it at the start of the playing season? It's going to be worth blooming nothing. Well, it will be, you know what I mean? But if you're going to be selling your launch monitor, the one that you want to sell it in the winter. Why? Because everyone really wants to hit golf balls. They can't because it's cold, dark and snowing outside. And if they've got any facility whatsoever, will it be a driving range, or if they're lucky to be able to have any access to something like this, having one of them is a blooming godsend, especially if it's got club data. If it's got club data on it, all you need is dots in your golf club, and you're well on your way over the winter time to really working on your swing. So when it comes to playing time again, it's like, go for it, guys. Look how my handicap's come down. But at the moment, they're on eBay, and it's just like, wow, guys. There you go. But yeah, so if you're on eBay and you want a quad, there's some GC2s on there as well. Some bargains to be had. Right. Let's just flick back over to make sure I am not missing out on anything. Natla's just messaged, that's good, it's come up through this. Right, let's go. Let's go to that one. Perry says, great answer. My junior daughter, as well as golf, does taekwondo, and she has to learn to count in Korean. Wow, there you go. Korean's not the easiest language to master as well, if I recollect. Goldfish, I intentional left quality of strike out of the shaft lean loft discussion. So as not to complicate things, does Steve Stricker hit down, or is he usually a pure sweeper? He still will be hitting down slightly. I can guarantee you he will not be hitting up with an iron. He won't be hitting down much. So there is, if you remember, there's many different facets to angle of attack. So it's not just angle of attack. We're talking about also the, every person's swing is a hula hoop. I call it a hula hoop because obviously that means there, and obviously I need to get myself a hula hoop. I've always said this, I need to get myself a hula hoop. There's a low point, it hits the ground, then comes back. It's an arc, a hula hoop, yep. And obviously you can move that arc, you can sway, and yeah, you can move up and down. That interacts where that golf club's going to hit the ground, the low point and stuff. But that hula hoop can also be stretched out a bit when it comes to low point by how you use your wrists into impact. And there was a really very, very good, it was hilarious, the Tiger one, you know, where he took that divot that must have been the same size as Moby Dick. It was massive. This thing come out of the ground, and it must have been like massive. And it flew through the air. Now, Tiger does hit, or did hit down, but what he was very quite good at is, because he was really good at controlling spin, if you hit down too much, then all you especially do with wedges, all you do is create too much spin. And on those greens, especially the watered variety that receive, they'll just spin back and gone. So he was very, very good at controlling his angle of attack. Now, so he was down, but he was also quite shallow. That's why that divot came out, and it didn't come out massively thin one end, massively thin the other end, and about that thick in the middle. It was quite elongated and quite uniform, because he's not just going through the ground, he's also elongating that as well. And I won't go into the complicated wrist conditions of how he does that, but then you get Steve Stricker, he is quite picky, and he has got more of a that when it comes to, so he's down and he's flicking it off as such. He's still hitting down, but he's not interacting with the ground the same as what Tiger generally does. So he will still be definitely down, but yeah. Vishal says, club champion in the US make people use a 6-iron. Absolutely fine, you can use a 6-iron if you wish, no problem whatsoever. The problem with using 6-irons generally, though, I would say, is because the length of the shaft gets longer. As the length of the shaft gets longer, as you get further away from the work, you find it harder to control strike. 7-iron is ample when it comes to, it's a perfect golf club, because from a fitting point of view, because with a shorter shaft, you're closer to the golf ball anyway, so you're more likely to be out of control. And in an environment where you haven't got a mass amount of time spending choosing different or trying different and measuring, comparing different data sets with different parts of equipment, you need to make use of the time that you have. And obviously, it's like saying, why don't you use 5-irons then? Well, you mishit 5-irons more than you do your pitching wedge. Pitching wedge has got too much loft, so you're going to stop. You're going to hit everything straight with the pitching wedge anyway, because it's got so much loft. So you're going to get, if you've got D-plane issues, and if you want to know that D-plane, I can talk about D-plane if you wish, but if you've got D-plane issues, if by using a pitching wedge, all you're going to do is hit target all the time, as opposed to if you had a 5-iron, you'd hit, obviously D-plane issues, you are not going to be hitting target anywhere near. The problem is you're going to have missed strikes and duffs and everything because of the length of the shaft. So that's why, generally speaking, nowadays, all manufacturers use 7-iron. There you go. Dongy, yes, you remembered. Nice out, Jay. Azrat AV, which is king, bend profile or weight? Bend profile first, then weight. Very, very close after. bend profile first, and then you deal with the individual, how they react to it and stuff like that. And then when you have, if you've got an individual who has a distinct requirement for a certain weight or a feeling of a certain weight, then you would bend profile, understand what the bend profile requirements are, and then do your best you can do to match or get very close to that, or keep as much of that as you can whilst you reduce weight or increase weight. Doesn't make sure I get, but yeah. Sorry, nice one, says Don. Don says, I got carrot cake. Yeah, I love carrot cake. Visual, cake and cold milk. Any kind of cake, really. Everyone loves cake. Everyone. Natla, hello Natla. Hi Jay, I was fitted when I was a 20 handicap. Now I'm a 9 handicap. Would you recommend a new fitting, as my divot is more heel side and golf balls going left more than I like, or a change swing a bit? No. If you're delivering your handle lower, so let's flick over very quickly to the other one. Here we go. Oh, I'm not going to swing, and oh my God, I'm getting old. Oh, I've been tiling and stuff like that. Yeah. Oh, I need to move my chair. Move the chair out there. There we go. You'll be able to see then. Stay, don't move anymore. I'll move it in there so that one there can see, and also that one there as well can see. But yeah, so we're talking about if you have your handle delivery lower, let's just say you have your hand delivery lower, and you are producing a little bit of that. Yeah, now bear in mind, hang on, I'll explain this because this is important. I'll come over here to my little wee stick. Everyone should have one of these. If you're coaches, guys, and custom fitters, this is really cheap. All that is a, what was it, neo thingy magnet, rare earth metal, what they call it. Oh, it does that. Super sticky magnet, there you go. And a plastic thing on the end. It is one of the most simple things ever. Right, but, I don't know if I can be out doing it over here. It's probably, I'll do it over here because it's not close enough to the camera if not. So, what everyone doesn't understand with lie, so if you imagine you had a 0 lie, I'll try and do it to the camera as best I can do, yeah? So let's go into the camera within reason, right? And that's lie is at 0, yeah? It's not sort of like toe down or anything else like that. But you can understand, if I was to open and close the face, it makes that, there you go, you can see it, moves the face angle. Now, I'm not gonna open and close the face. I'm not gonna do anything like this. You can see how it works on the diagonal anyway, as soon as I twist to the axis of the shaft, and I ruin it, and I'm cheating, yeah? So let's get it straight at the camera. There we go. All I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna get my hand, which is down here, and I'm gonna lower it, and I'm gonna raise it. You see how that loft moves? Now, I am not moving the face open down, but that is a lot. So if look how much that thing's moving when I move the handle. And so people don't really spend enough time understanding exactly what the implications of dynamic lie have on their golf swing. And yes, you are absolutely right. If you're gonna hit this with lower handle, that heel's gonna wanna go in first because the toe is gonna be wanting to obviously be up, heels down, resist, the heel's gonna resist the ground and adding to further twist. So of course, if you're hitting the ground with the heel, as it comes in, if you ever hit the big ball before the small ball, as in you hit the planet Earth before, the heel comes in, resists, twists the head over, and it makes it even worse. So yeah, I would, depending on what golf clubs you've got, I'll put this back down again. Depending on what golf clubs you've got, you can get your current golf clubs bent. But if they're cast, probably not. But yeah. So Natla, I would say definitely go get fitted, yeah? Or just check the lie angles of the stuff that you've already got. If you like what you've already got and it works great for you, it's just obviously that the lie's not right. If you can get them bent, get them bent. It's going to be the cheapest way. If they're cast and obviously can't be bent to the level that you may need, then I would definitely suggest getting properly fitted and then make the decision based on the end of the fitting. Go away, have a think about it, and yeah, then make a decision on that way, because obviously, as you saw there, dynamic lie is a huge thing. It's one of the biggest things in fitting and a lot of fitters don't even pay attention to it, which is scary on so many levels. It is. Right. So Vishal says, I've seen a video on Tiger into 3-wood with a negative angle of attack and gets a small divot as it should be. Yeah, I'm 1.5 down with my 3-wood still. Mark says, is fitting regulated? No. Not all fitters are the same. Is there an industry standard? And if not, should there be? No. Does the new golfer get confidence they aren't being sold stuff they don't need? Right, so no, fitting is not regulated. Yeah. A lot of things in golf aren't regulated. I'm a great fan of no regulation at all, none. I don't want regulation at all. Reason why I don't want regulation is because if you get stuck into an environment of this one thing, if you have a certain, let's call it the PGA. I don't want to have a conversation about the PGA, but if you have, so let's delete that. Let's call it a golf certificate. There you go. If you had a golf certificate that allowed you, or it says you've attained a certain level to do this, whatever, that means people are going to be searching for people that have got a golf certificate, and they assume now that they know their thing. They, shall we say, because they've got this, they automatically think and understand that not say the sun shines out of that person's backside, but there are so many people out there that have got qualifications that do not know a thing about it. And it is concerning to the level of certain things that even I have seen within golf. And obviously I've seen within, no different to DIY. When you go to tradespeople, especially on certain people, have to have certain certificates or be a registered this or registered that, because obviously for insurance purposes and everything else. But you see the work that they do, and it is horrific. And you see yourself, how on earth did you manage to get through or do? Because you clearly do not care about quality. And it goes the same everywhere. So I am not a fan whatsoever of saying that you need to have this or you need to have that, if not you can't do it, because obviously effectively you are taking away the individual who is exceptionally motivated and dedicated to doing a certain thing, but has the stumbling block of not having a certain golf certificate or a certificate of this. Now, of course, there are implications for safety, especially when you talk about electrics and stuff like that. No one's going to be, it's golf, so you're not going to say, like, in electrics, I can understand to a certain extent that people need to be competent, etc. Yes, because you're going to rewire in your house, you don't want people dying. When it comes to golf, no one's going to be dying, right? So most of all, you want one thing. You want that individual, whether it be a coach, whether it be a custom fitter, it doesn't matter who it is. You need someone that knows their stuff, that is not motivated in any way, shape or form by money, by you purchasing something, so they then earn money. Is difficult, it is, but it needs, yeah. So another day I will do a live stream going much more into that topic. I don't want it to be seen by certain people as a bashing exercise. It is not. It is just my opinion of certain things. So Natla says, thanks Jay, will get myself fit for a new set. Got to treat myself sometimes. If you can afford it, Natla, you can justify the expenditure. You really do need another set, because I would remember when it comes to fitting, a very important part of the honesty side of it is this, that you put your set up once you're fully warmed up. You put your set up directly against your custom fit one. I've done the custom fitting, then you get your set again and you hit them again. And if there is not a tangible benefit to you going to a new golf club, for me, I would turn around and say to the individual, do you know what? I can't beat it. And if there was two manufacturers, definitely one, but there's two manufacturers, definitely one that I would say this. If someone came in with a properly fitted ping iron or ping wood, like driver, I would struggle to beat it, absolutely, because of the way the manufacturer does certain things, but yeah. Right, let's go next one. Niels, for another set of spiked Arnold Palmer on the honeymoon. Oh, that is hilarious. Talking about spiked, frugal golfer thing, he said he was going to send some through the post, although that he is from Canada, so I think, or wherever it was, so that it may take a while. But thank you very, very much. So I won't be here next Monday, I won't be here. I will be, rather than being in the UK, I will be in Morocco for finally my honeymoon. Now, I got married last year, nearly a year ago, but because I've been so busy, and I continue to be so busy, I haven't had the chance as yet to actually go on honeymoon. So, yeah, it's got to a point of where I've had to, at one point, I've just said, look, I've got to stop. I've got to, because the wife is so patient. She's an amazing, amazing woman. And I am so fortunate to have, or be with her and have the life that I have, and for her to bear with me. And yeah, so there comes a point where I've got to knock it on the head and say, look, I've got to go, I've got to stop and try and get as much done as I can do beforehand, absolutely, but I've got to go for a week. Now, we're only going to go away for 5 days, so we're not going for 2 weeks or anything else like that. So 1 week, next Monday, we won't have a live stream unless I can do a very, very quick one from Morocco. No, I may or may not, I don't know, depending on what the Wi-Fi situation is anyway. But I will be back on the Monday after. Excuse me, YouTube when he pops. So Don says, I might come to the UK for a week of golf, June or July, probably. If I will, then I might want to be fitted for a new driver by you. Maybe too many ifs and buts. Okay, Don, the only problem with driver. So the situation I'm in at the moment when it comes to me coaching custom fitting, obviously step back because I want to concentrate on YouTube full time, and I like the balance that I am. I must admit, I am in no hurry whatsoever to go back to coaching custom fitting full time. I'll be honest, I'm not. It's enjoyable, it is great, and I love the interaction with people. I like meeting subscribers, I like that interaction, it's brilliant. But it just takes up so much of my time, and I'm not able then to enjoy this other side. I don't have the time then to do these kind of things. And even though I'm busy now, but I could have quite easily got home and gone, no, got to go to work, because I've been working all day. It's fine, it's good. But yeah, the problem I've got with driver is at the moment, I am a very fastidious, a very particular, a very anal individual. Yeah, I don't mind saying that. I am quite OCD about certain things. When I was at the range full time, I had my room, my custom fitting studio, I had everything in its place. Everything, I knew where every single shaft was, every single head. I knew I had all the technology there. I had all the, everything I had was, I was in there, you had like a patter of knowing where to go, here to there, there to there. Everything was fluid. It flowed lovely. And so anyone that came in was given the utmost, well, treat, you could say. Okay, it was a paid for fitting, so not saying it was free, it wasn't free whatsoever, I'll be honest with that. But it enabled me to be able to be absolutely honest as to if there was any benefit or not when it comes to their decision to buy or not buy equipment, because I had no vested interest in it. I earned money from a paid for session that enabled me to be absolutely honest. And that was the agreement that I had with Andy at the time when I first went there, was that I did not want commission. Now, commission's great from a sales point of view because it obviously pushes people to sell. But from a golfer's point of view, it's terrible because you can get stuff that you don't need. People selling you more stuff than you need, and two, selling you the wrong stuff as well, because there's more margin, say, in one manufacturer or one golf club than there is another one. So yeah, that's, yeah. But cut long story short, at the moment, the only ones I can really feel comfortable doing is a Mizuno iron fit. Why? Because obviously Mizuno give all their accounts, regardless of what account it is, they give them all the heads and they give them all the shafts. When it comes to other manufacturers, they give them a certain amount of, and unless I can do a fitting to the same or very, very similar competent level that I did when I was at the range, I am not comfortable fitting for an individual when I do not feel that I am giving them the service which they are paying for. That's my own moral standpoint, but it's an honest one. And I've always been honest, and I will continue to be honest, regardless if it hurts or on my business or not, because it's the right thing to do. Right. So Darren says, other than yourself, of course, for those of us in the States, do you have any fitting companies that you would endorse? Don't feel obligated to answer. I can certainly understand. No, Darren, I'm absolutely happy to answer. My phone's going off. Go away. Fitting companies. That's a difficult one, because fitting companies, again, you're talking about based on sales, based on commission. It's very, very difficult to get around that. Now, if you were to go to a national fitting centre of a manufacturer, yes, you're going to get, they're still going to want to sell you something, of course, because that's what they're doing, they're selling. And if you went for a national fitting centre, say Titus Fitting Centre or a Ping once up at Gainsborough, say from the UK's point of view, Ping are amazing at what they do. They use TrackMan, which I don't like, but I must be honest, I don't like that. But they are very, very good. But again, going back to it, it's the difficult thing about finding somewhere, and you have to find somewhere, and it's difficult, that they do not make commission. Now, the first point of call would be, is it a free fitting or not? If it's a free fitting, I would be wary straight away, because I'm thinking, well, hang on a minute, how is that guy being paid that is now going to be helping me decide if I need to buy new irons or not, or what the tangible benefit between these new irons and my old set are, or is not? How's he being paid? Or she? Yeah. How's the individual being paid? And of course, if it is that, you're talking about a distinct possibility of commission based. Well, then that individual, because he's being paid on the basis of how much you're buying, is going to have an interest and want to sell you as much as he possibly can do, because we all need to eat and we all need to pay bills and stuff like that. So it is a really, yeah, it's a hard thing for people. But I'd always pay for a fitting. First of all, always pay for a fitting. And then just talk to the people of decent understanding of character. I can tell when I trust someone or I don't. Just talking to them, you get an understanding of what they're like. If my little radar goes off of, hang on, I don't like the way you're saying certain things, you're a sales person at heart. Yeah, so. Jerry Smiley, hello Jerry. I went to a manufacturer's fitting and they had me only a 7-iron, hit balls for about 40 minutes making shaft changes, and that was it. Should I really trust their recommendation? No. Right, okay, so going back to the same thing, Jerry, is the fact that obviously they have a vested interest in making sure you purchase those irons, or any irons, don't care, as long as from that manufacturer. Now, yeah, they're not going to give you absolutely honest, generally speaking, because if some do, some don't. Okay, the vast majority of people don't, because being sales driven, yes, they are influenced by the fact that they're making money and stuff like that. So it is a difficult thing. But it doesn't take long to, I have thought about doing this, but I don't think I can get away with it. for YouTube and doing like a hidden YouTube thing of where I went in, and if I could go into places without getting like spotted. It's quite funny, my old boss, as such, you could argue, from the range. I was self-employed, so there's no such thing, but you know what I mean. Yeah, from the range when I was full-time custom fitting coach there. He went to play in northwest London somewhere, about 100 miles away, and in a competition of some kind anyway. So he was, because in a proper event, obviously you have the announcer and stuff like that, and then it was basically saying, he says, Andy, so where are you from? So just so on the books, and he went, the Golfers Lounge in Bury St Edmunds, and he went, oh, that's a new one, and he goes, and yeah, well, it used to be Bury Golf Range. And he goes, Bury Golf Range? Is that where that YouTube guy's from? I was like, Andy was thinking, yeah. That's him. So you can't help it. So if I was to try and do a YouTube series of doing a kind of mystery shopper of going into getting custom fit, I don't think I'd get many places before I would get spotted. And yeah, so I'd like to do it because it'd be brilliant to actually get an understanding out there of just how good or not the fitting experience is everywhere. Not quite sure I'd get away with that. So, Don says, don't stream from Morocco, enjoy your honeymoon. Well, my phone camera, I still need to fix my phone camera. I've been so busy I hadn't fixed my phone camera yet, so I may or may not. Alberto, hello. Enjoy the trip to Morocco. I'll wave to you as you fly over Madrid. Yes, 8th of May, I think when is it? Something like 6 in the morning. So get up early and wave. I'll wave back. I ain't got a clue where I'm in Madrid, it's in Spain. But I'll just wave constantly out the window, just in case. Don says, that's exactly why I would like to be fitted by you as a fellow OCD perfectionist. Yeah. It's a bad thing to be. Now, when I say OCD, I have got OCD to a certain extent. It's a very controllable, low-grade level of OCD. I like to have things done correctly, especially when people are expecting something, as in they are paying for a service. I like to feel like if I was to be given whatever the session that I'm giving, if I was the other person on the receiving end of that, I would be happy and satisfied that I have got my money's worth. Because I have seen some free fittings that after the conversation of the fitting, that, do you know what, I'd want money back from the fitter. It was that bad. Right. So that's exactly why I would like to be fitted by you. Donkey, misunderstood driver. Misunderstood driver. I've lost that one. Hang on. I've lost that. I've said something in the past and I can't remember what I've said. Vishal says, I never like doing a manufacturer specific fitting, defeats the whole purpose. Though they are expensive, Club Champion or TXG are at least have multiple brands. The downside is intention on their end. Now, of course, I would say, yeah, Club Champion or TXG, yeah, a brilliant example of somewhere to go that potentially would have more honesty in mind, especially TXG. I know TXG and they are blooming good. Now, of course, is it a business? Yes, there is. It is absolutely a business. Now, I was very, very lucky at where I used to work full time, is because the owner of the business never pressurized me unduly, and even he did pressurize me in sort of said this or said that, I'd ignore him anyway, because I am me and I don't care what anyone says. I will do things how I do them, nothing else. But I wasn't pressured in doing anything. If we had a certain amount of things on the rack in the shop, and there was 5 G425 drivers still to got rid of. And of course, most places would be like, guys, when you're doing your fittings, make sure that we've got 5 G425 drivers that we need to be getting rid of soon. So make sure if you can fit them into that, get rid of the stuff of the stock. I'm like, don't care. If they fit into something which is exactly the same, just so, well, I ain't got a clue, but if it is exactly the same what we've got on there, then fair enough. They have the opportunity there and then just straight away take a driver which is fresh and it's brand new and it's there, ready for it. Otherwise, that's going through custom. It's the same cost, makes no difference to them whatsoever. To me though, it makes a massive difference the individual having exactly the right specification and not just whatever the shop has got in stock at the time. But TXG, yes, you're very, very good on that one. Don says, but I agree with you, the moral view stroke standpoint. Good, thank you. And well, hopefully more people should. Fenrica says, a few years back I went for a fit into my Club Pro. He told me during the session to go away and practice. Really good. Clap. I will celebrate that with a YTD. I'm very impressed. I have said quite a few times that I've stopped the fitting, and I've explained very kindly about why and the best way to go forward for that golfer would be we need to be looking at swing changes. You are very, very, very inefficient, and I could give you a golf club which will make you slightly more efficient, but nothing is going to be putting anywhere close to what if I could just change your swing to become much more like this. I'd then spend 5 to 7 minutes with them very, very, very quickly changing their swing characteristics, like aggressively, not aggressively, like change it. Just quite aggressive when it comes to the exaggerated feelings that I would give the individual. And it would instantly make a change in efficiency, yeah, and like, woof. And so there you go. So we've changed you massively. Now your swing characteristics have changed massively. We're not talking about a small change, we're talking massive change. And so therefore your requirements now of shaft potentially will change. And so I would suggest we do a few lessons of this, and once you've got this, then let's do a fitting. Because, yeah, a bit of waste of money doing it, yeah. But that's for people with aggressive swing changes that require, people that need to tweak this and tweak that. No, as long as you're having a conversation with a competent person, understanding what the influences of swing changes have on club dynamics, and people, again, people just need to learn that. I mean, that's not something that you gain. But if you can be, I'm not going to pick on PJ at all. You can be whatever you want to be when it comes to having yeah. But certain things aren't taught like that. There is so much stuff within the golfing arena, the golfing world, whether it be coaching or especially custom fitting, that you learn for experience, or you learn because you go out there yourself and work it out and find out and critique it and just study the crap out of it until you understand. A lot of stuff is not taught in that kind of way. Right. Where are we? Don says, tightest centre in the UK, fee is £500. Is it really? Holy sugar balls. That's a lot. But then it's no different. Mizuno, I think, is a very, very similar amount. I think it is for Tour Experience fitting. But I do think, do you get your things fit in the afternoon made? Or can't remember now. Excuse me, YouTube Winnie Pops. Vishal says, if I may say so, many of the people on this live stream and probably some of your general viewers have decent club knowledge and probably won't be as susceptible in getting taken for a ride. I would say you are. I think you were right, absolutely, definitely, because of the niche of my channel. My channel is very much more technically operated, and it is not entertainment based. Now, obviously, I have fun doing this, and you might have fun listening in, and then everyone's interacting. I have the occasional joke. I make yeah, that kind of idea. But primarily, this channel is not entertainment. It is not an Alex Etches. He's very entertaining. I think he's funny. It is not like Peter Finch or Rick to a certain extent. A lot of his stuff is based around one thing. A lot of YouTubers is based around one thing, entertainment. Probably TXG has got more entertaining as time's gone on, with obviously its production and stuff like that. But the vast majority of channels they do well on the basis of their entertainment, not of their content. And if you were to look at a lot of the raw content that people create for viewers to consume, it is very, very thin on actual information. And even the information that is then given across could very easily be critiqued in a way to show that it may or may not be correct. My view on it is the opposite way round. I do not care, well I do care, but I don't care about it being boring. Yeah, my main thing is that my channel is much more if an individual is really looking to spend money on a set of golf clubs. And guys, your money is precious to you, and you will, regardless of how little you have of it, you need to make sure that you're utilizing it in the right way. You're spending it once, not twice, 3 times, 4 times until you stumble on the right set. So I would rather risk my channel not growing as fast as I would like it to, based on the fact that yes, it may not be the most entertaining out there, it might not be the most cinematic, etc., but it is with the most open and honest data driven review or comparison or any kind of video content that I can give, regardless of how well the business model works. Yeah, as time goes on, we don't know. So I've just noticed Alex, thank you very, very much, just donated $9.99. I very much so appreciate that. It's for my little fund of YTD, you to drink. I'm getting low. I have got a reserve just in case, depending on how long it goes on for. We are at 2.25 hours, so I might come off at 10, which is 2.5 hours. So we might have 15 minutes left. I want to get through some more questions, though, or comments. So, Don Geek, sorry, fitting for a Mizuno driver maybe, same problem. Don, it's, again, heads is one thing, shafts are another. It's just, yeah. Everybody's different, yeah, and I don't want to sort of like in any way, shape or form put just because I do something in a way that I choose to do it, for me makes absolute logical sense. Just because another individual does it somewhat different to me doesn't make them wrong. Just makes us different. We'll go with that. That's about as politically correct as I can be. So Vishal says, a beginner will have a hard time in figuring out if what they were fit into is really right for them. It depends on the conversation you have with the fitter and how articulate the fitter is and able to be able to describe all the different levels of what they're doing. So I was always I was a huge advocate of it's a two-way understanding, absolutely it is, and more importantly, it's at the end of the fitting. You shouldn't just go away with knowing, as in like understanding what you've got. As in, I've got this model, okay, and I've got this 4-to pitching wedge or 5 or 6-to lob wedge or whatever it be. You should go away with not only just that. You need to go away with a very, very good understanding of why, not just what, why. And if the fitter has done it correctly, and it needs to be done correctly, you should go away with there with absolutely your head buzzing with information, understanding of how your swing works, how different equipment that you've tried and tested, what you've settled on, how that works with your swing, how that works with how you deliver the golf ball obviously into impact, obviously with uses of quad and swing DNA and all many other tools in the trade. You should go away with you should be enlightened after a fitting. Really, you should. It should be like a fun, practical lesson, science lesson, if you want to call it that way. Right, Sherry and the defecators. If you are inconsistent with strike, which most golfers are, then club fitting is a waste of time. That's an interesting one, Sherry. And yeah, can I just call you Sherry? I don't know, because I'm not really allowed to say the other last word. So that I actually disagree with. So through all the, oh, wow, again, if I had £1 for every single time I had a fitting. So I'm going to say something that's obviously quite controversial, but it's well, it's my belief that, do you know what, the worse you are, the more custom fitting is important. Why? Because these golf clubs, ooh, hitting stuff, these golf clubs, whatever they are, doesn't matter what they are, yeah? Are they fit for me? Are they not? I need to know one thing when it comes to this. I don't care about the shaft because, again, I'm very fortunate. It's the fact I'm not shaft sensitive, so I don't really care what's in it. I need to know one thing about this head. What's the lie angle? That's all I care about. What's the lie angle? Okay, the loft, I can find that out, but what is the lie angle? And I can either find out straight away, or I can just hit it on quad. Hit it like I normally would do, find out what the lie angle is. And then automatically, straight away, I'm gonna have an understanding of how that golf club is gonna react. Now, if it's within a few degrees, I'm hitting ball first, then floor, not ball first, then floor. So I would be fit when it comes to lie angle, dynamic lie, on the basis of a better player's understanding of strike, which means that if you're hitting ball first then floor, dynamic lie is much more there to dial in trajectory than it is to do with anything else. When we're talking about amateurs that hit the ground before and have dynamic lie issues, you fit them massively differently. You fit them to try and get that lie as close to zero as possible, because if you go to something like this, this is a JPX 923 Tour, there you go. So as you can see, quite a small sole, yeah? Has X amount of bounce, doesn't matter what it is, I'm gonna go get a different golf club. God dear me, I'm getting old. Which one's this? Keep it in the same family, shall we, for a bit of fun? Yeah, let's go with this one here. Let's keep it in the same family. Still a 7-iron, obviously we know not all 7-irons are the same, but this is a JPX 923 Hot Metal HL. Now there's only 3 degrees of loft between those two options, but that is one beefy sole compared to what you just saw in the Tour. And so, and with slightly more bounce and blah, blah, blah. Now, and more effective bounce as well, because obviously the sole is thicker. Now, if you hit the ground before, if you have lie 0, yeah, because you have bounce, this angle here, yeah, you've got loft, but you've got bounce, that then is resisting the ground or digging into the ground. Now, okay, if you're gonna hit 4 inches, 5 inches, 6 inches, a foot, before the golf ball, no level of bounce, even a ping, yeah, with the amount of bounce and sole widths that they've got, no level is gonna help that. You are gonna be fatting it. However, those golf clubs are designed with the sole thickness that they have and stuff like that, is to resist the ground and resist that leading edge digging so you can get to the golf ball. Now, of course, yeah, the further you go back and you're still gonna dig anyway, because obviously it'll just, at one point it will just overcome and just dig anyway. But it's designed to give you a buffer. Now, that buffer of an inch or two will only work if the entire contact patch is touching the ground. If you're toe deep or heel deep, that is a tiny contact patch and you're going to get face twist if it's toe down. Much so, I can't remember who was earlier on who said it. What was it? I can't remember now. It's a bit of a shame because I was talking about, they was talking about going left. There we go. Natla was saying the exact same thing. We're talking about dynamic lie there. If you're going to get that, obviously you're going to get, say, toe deep the other way. That's the most common one. Toe deep by masses. Comes in, wants to drag the face open. Yeah, because if it comes in, hits the ground. Yeah, lie not 0. And also, obviously, with your lie not 0, your face is looking right anyway. So it's a how bad can you get? And so amateurs need to be fit as close as they can to lie 0. because it gives them that. Now the problem is obviously if you've got an individual who lie doesn't move around too much. So dynamic lie, people have this huge thing about when I'm really bad, I'm like a 30 handicapper, every single part of my delivery is changing all the time. It's like horrendously. No, it's not. I have the amount of people that I have captured information from an array of all different types of golfers, from basically tour level golfers to like wowzers golfers, like take up netball or something else, is that what you'll find is that between that spectrum, do you know what? Even the really bad golfers, like the horrendously bad golfers, when it comes to the club path, rarely changes. It doesn't change more than 3 degrees. Really, it doesn't. As long as their aim stays the same, and if you aim them straight all the time and stuff like that, so their aim doesn't change, their swing doesn't actually change. Their club path does not change more than 3 degrees net through the whole thing. Yeah, or gross, sorry. So yeah, 3 degrees, 1.5 degrees either way of a baseline. What does change is their face to path relationships, what their face angle is doing at the point of contact, and also where they're hitting it. They're the two main things. When it comes to dynamic lie, not really, and when it comes to club path, absolutely not. So their swing, even though they are rubbish, actually hardly changes. It's the strike point and their face relationship that changes, all of which can be fixed or helped within lessons anyway. So, but if you can get an individual who hits all over the face, get it lie zero, that will help their interaction with the ground, definitely. And if you then fit someone who's fairly new, that does use all the face, if you can go to a golf club like something like this, which has got technology built around its design to be helpful all over the face, especially at the toe, then it will help. Absolutely it will help, and it will help a lot. So I do disagree a little bit when it comes to sharing the defecators, when it comes to that, personally. I'm not saying you're wrong, I'm just saying I disagree. That's it. That's it. What we got next? Richard Bicker. Hi AGN troops. Home course shut down for 2 days while some anti-nematode, what the heck? Anti-nematode crap is applied? Anti-nematode. There you go. I won't be having that for dinner. Plus my wife started beating me. Change the handicap. Our life sucks. Or do you mean she started beating you? Both significant issues. Visual, we have in the US a store called PJ Tour Superstore where they do fittings. I mean, it's an impressive place where you can buy anything in golf, but people get fit and buy clubs. OMG. Yep. Richard, they have another store that I won't name because I don't fancy a lawsuit, but yeah. Richard Bicker says, as I recall, they waive the 50 to 75 fitting fee if you buy the clubs within a day or two. I'm not a great fan of that either. I'd much rather they keep the fee. Absolutely. It depends on how obviously employed and stuff like that. I was self-employed. So I was a great fan of, it's a case of like, that's how I get paid. If you want me to give you honesty, integrity, and my experience and technical information to make sure that if you are going to go buy something, that you get the best possible experience, that's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to pay for my service or for my time. That's the same whether you buy or not. That's very open. And that's a good way of doing it. Why? Because if I didn't do that, and I then had to do it on the basis of what people were buying, not everyone buys, first and foremost. Not everyone needs to buy, first and foremost, but not everyone buys. And so the people that do buy, there is even more pressure to make sure you squeeze them for every single bit you can. Every drop of money blood you can get, you squeeze them for it. because you can't guarantee when the next person comes in. So if you can get as much profit margin out of this one as possible, and then try and get 1 or 2 clubs more than he actually needs, or she, then that makes up for the next 2 or 3 that may walk in and not buy. Can people see the issue with that business model? I can, personally, and I don't want a part of it, because, yeah. Right, where we got now? Halfway down, we're doing all right? Yep. Wide sole, good feeling club. To me, it doesn't worry about it. I'll just skip ahead, abstract AV. It doesn't. The ground interaction or turf interaction doesn't really mean that much to me. Not that much, being honest. But what are we saying here? The next one. Vishal says, I've been fitted both at TXG and Club Champion. Good. I can say not ripped off, but I did a lot of research ahead of time. Good. Literally dozens of hours of research. Good. Learn. It's a great thing. It stops you potentially getting, I won't say ripped off, but if you understand the terminology, if you understand what you do and you understand certain things, it can at least then educate you in a way that if someone says, does, or exhibits something and your brain goes, oh, I don't like this, and it protects you from potentially from being, Sherry you're better off getting a lesson if you're a hacker. Absolutely right. Always. Absolutely right. And I will agree with you absolutely on that one. Abstract ABC, what would be the instruction book for someone who can't get to lessons? Understand what you're doing first. You can't change, you can't get better unless you understand exactly what you're doing wrong to start with. So you need to understand what you're doing wrong. That's the difficult bit, and that's the difficult bit with everything. I cannot suggest how you're going to do it without lessons or without any form of understanding. That's tricky. But you need to understand what you're doing wrong to be able to get better. AV says, Abstract AV says, what would be the, I've just done that one. Mark Dennis says, hi Jay, not everyone can afford to get entire bag fitted or even needs it. True, absolutely true. What would you say if the first most important to least to be fit in terms of driver, wedges, irons, putter, etc.? Okay. Wow, depending on the golfer, because if you're talking about an individual that has heavy slice and stuff like that, I would do irons, driver, it's just going to be a joke. Everything's going to go wrong, doesn't matter what you give them when it comes to someone who's going to be a heavy slicer. But if you're talking about a run-of-the-mill, half okay, ball flighted, not massively efficient, but not like disappearing off into the never every shot, I would say irons, absolutely. Wedges can be tagged on to the back of irons. There is no, as long as you've got the loft gaps correct, there's no point in getting golf addict says, I'm here. Just finished golfing, you lucky, yeah. But I would say irons, then driver, and then obviously hybrids and stuff like that, and they feed in. But I would say irons, absolutely, because you use them more. Driver, then, because it can get you in the most trouble. As long as you're not someone who hits off the planet every single shot. If you're doing that because you swing 12 across with a face 15 open and you slice the living daylights out of everything, get a lesson. Absolutely. So, Mark also fantastic live and very informative as per usual. It's my pleasure, Mark. It is. Darren says concur. I concur. Sherry Andy, I went to PXG fitting in Brentwood, UK to try out some clubs, and they were club fitting a couple before me who couldn't even hit the ball. Fitted just wanted the order. And Sherry, and that is exactly what I have been saying. You could have given the woman a broom and it would have made no difference. I done a similar thing. So I went into a store, I will not say where it was, in a fairly local-ish to me. I was visiting for the day. So that was the reason why I didn't go there specifically, but I thought, you know what, I'm here anyway. I would just go have a look. And I was just looking around the store, trying not to get spotted, trying, you know, sort of like do this. Looking dodgy. I didn't have the hoodie, I must admit. But the oh yeah, I mean the guy that was in there, he was being fit on a GC2, being told that his club head speed was this, his path was this, no HMT attachment. Told him so many different things where he was hitting it. He ain't got a clue. I mean, okay, I'll be and people that have known me and spent time with me in a lesson or at a custom fitting, right? That if they watch this live now or they're watching it in afterwards, I am very good at guessing to very, very close as to where they've hit it and where they've hit it. So again, when it comes to strike and feedback, it is so much down to acoustics. I can hear toe, I can hear heel, I can hear low and high and stuff like that. And because my acoustic database in my head with different golf clubs is quite vast, I am quite able to correctly guesstimate very close as to what the actual strike point to the millimeter, or very sort of small amounts, when someone hits one. And so I'm not, again, but that's one, I can't tell you how fast that person was swinging a golf club. I can't tell you what that club path was. So I'm not quite sure how he was telling this person when he's just using the GC2, which only does ball data. And yeah, you're right, when it comes to it, I mean, this person walked out with £1,000 something or other. I'm standing there in utter disbelief because I'm thinking, mate, not being funny, with a swing like that, you were back shanking it. And for people who do not know what a back shank is, I tell you what, right down there, what's a back shank? Yeah, right. Jerry says, there isn't another YouTuber I trust for a club review. Well, that's very kind, Jerry. That is very, very kind. Now, all you have to do is approximately tell 1.3 million others. Ryan, hello Ryan. Don't you want to know how long the shaft is too, or does shaft angle not influence lie that much? It does, yeah, every single ½ inch, 1 degree. And so, yeah, you're talking about changing shaft length will change lie angle, definitely. Shaft bend profile by far has a much bigger impact on dynamic lie than shaft length. And so you change someone's bend profile, again, that will change the deflection of the shaft and then influence dynamic lie even more. Niels, I disagree with Sherry as well. Weight and flex can make a massive difference on how you deliver the golf club. Absolutely it can. Bend profile first, then shortly followed by weight. And obviously lie and length must match physical dimensions. Mostly. So yeah, physical dimensions. In essence, you're absolutely right, Niels. You are absolutely right. So, so when it comes to the one thing I love Ping as a brand. They are probably the most honest golf company brand ever. They probably are. Absolutely. Got itchy snazzer. However, over my time, I'll do it over here so you can actually see it, because it's a bit more fun me explaining it in a way, not that way, that way. Right, so I have fit many, and if I had a pound. However, we all come different. Now, this is my dimension. Yeah, I am 5'10", and my span is about 5'10". And if you've ever done the test, I don't know if you can see, this will that camera, the one I'm pointing to, that one there anyway. Top right-hand camera anyway. So to understand what your span is, if you were to stand up against the wall, and here's up against my wall, and put your head there, like go up against, and put your, there's a span. And then what you do is you go get that, and then you also stretch out, and if you can touch the floor where your feet were, then you got your span. It's the same height as, there you go, interesting thing. So I am 5'10". I am the classic version of what people would perceive as perfect. I am the standard. However, I am standard lie, but I'm 2 degrees upright because obviously I do things with my swing, regardless of my posture and stuff like that. Now, that also depends on the shaft when it comes to bend profile. I am not actually in any way shaft sensitive when it comes to how it kicks and stuff like that. I don't feel it, I don't care, but it does have a slight change in deflection. That is more to do with the plane that I swing on, because I'll stand forward a bit. So this camera there, right down the line camera, because I'll exaggerate, I am quite flat, yeah? So as I'm quite flat working this way, as the swing plane, for the swing plane police out there, I am more affected by shaft deflection in the toe down, because if you were to go up like this, you are affected even less. If you swing like this, you're affected even more. And so because my plane is a little bit more rounder than most, yeah, then I will be affected by that. But it's not due to my transitional change, because I transition that way rather than transition in, yeah, kind of bore you senseless. But when it comes to people, I have fitted 6'5" guys for standard length shafts, even though they are 6'5", because they've got arms like a gorilla. You know the old classic thing when the old gorilla drags his knuckles across the ground because his arms are so long, yeah? And they're no different. I have fit short guys, 5'4", 5'5" men, yeah, for ½ inch long, because they've got arms like a T-Rex. Yeah, so they're short, but they've got arms like a T-Rex. And so they actually need longer golf clubs. So you work very much so on the individual rather than the old classic ping, static lie, when you kind of have your knuckles to the floor and stuff like that. Well, that's great, but then what posture you're going to go into? Yeah. Yeah. Good and bad, good and bad. Right, where are we on there? PJAS09, weird question. Was out playing yesterday and hit a couple of drives, and on touch face of driver found it really hot. This normal or driver faulty? Tour Edge C21 9 degree. Okay, were you playing somewhere where it was actually quite warm? Because the sun does have effect on clubs sometimes, as in black surfaces and stuff like that, does soak in heat quite a lot. So depending on the driver in question, if it's left outside in the sun for a lot, it can get very, very hot. Face, yeah, you can, it will warm up, definitely. The more you hit it, everything will warm up. A golf ball warms up with like constant whacking, yes it will do. A driver face, if it's left in a 20 degree control condition, you whack it a load of times, it will get warmer, but it will cool down quite quickly. So yeah, that is a bit interesting, to say the least. Abstract AV, wide sole, good feeling club, done that one. Golf, he's here, just finished golfing, like shot 75, lucky soul. Just going out there. Golf, I think I have talked myself into getting the Stealth 2 HD driver in 9 degree. Why have you talked yourself into that? Please let me know. Matthew Goodman, hello Matthew, new to the channel. Welcome. Love the reviews and love gaming my Mizuno T-Zoid Pro irons. Wow, going back in the day. All good though. Are you sponsored by Mizuno? No, I'm not. Thoughts on Mizuno versus other premium brands? Okay, let's tackle that one. Because everyone can see my choice, and it's the choice of what brand I would like to wear. There's a multifaceted thing when it comes to the reason why I like Mizuno, and I choose to wear Mizuno and play Mizuno and stuff like that. So play Mizuno initially. So before I had much involvement in the level of golf, which I do now, I played with Mizuno irons, and I have played with Mizuno irons for ages. Because for me, and what I like in a golf club, and everybody is different, they produced the best irons feeling wise that I wanted. They looked the nicest because I like shiny stuff, and they feel the nicest, as in they feel softest of everything. So, and that's just acoustics, but yeah. That's what I've always used. That's what I've always wanted to play and stuff. And of course, then it migrated to wearing a hat. Yeah. And okay, guys, now let's be honest. Now I am 40 something years old. I may not look it. But I'm fairly lucky still that I haven't put on so much weight that everything that I wear looks like it's vacuum formed. So when it comes to the Mizuno stuff, every manufacturer's different when it comes to their fitting. Mizuno stuff fits me quite well. Yeah, I don't look like a sack of potatoes. Well, I hope I don't. And so within reason, everything fits quite well and it works nicely. It's just been a natural progression. Now, of course, I could, if I want to, change to another manufacturer that if I wanted to, but I just like Mizuno stuff. Now, for people that know me, and again, when it comes to Matt, you're new to the channel, so you don't know me, but the more you watch of my stuff, I am absolutely just driven by one thing and one thing only: honesty. Good or bad, I don't care. Now, the one good thing, that's why I also got on well with Mizuno, was because when I first started testing irons, or sorry, testing equipment, there were some manufacturers which didn't like what I was doing, and some manufacturers that used it as an opportunity who were really confident in their product to push it even more. So without sort of, yeah, I've got to skirt the lines with what I can and what I can't say, or what I choose to say or choose not to say more than anything else. If you're a brand that is really confident in your ability to make distinctly improving equipment, then you should have no problem with a channel like mine that critiques the level of what I do, because I go to the extreme strike level delivery data for off-center hits and stuff like that. Obviously, it's a little bit different when it comes to manufacturers which may be rebranding things and stuff like that. But so yeah, I just got to a point of where I become more Mizuno in that sense, but it doesn't affect at all in my reviews. I've got my own personal likes, yeah, but my own likes when it comes to looks, I say all the time, looks are subjective. What I like the look of is massively different to what this next person or what you down the lens will want to see. No different to acoustics. I like the sound of something that's dead, that's forged, that's bladed, because I play blades. So I don't like this massive kapow. However, you down the lens might like that confidence-inspiring whack, so that's a subjective thing. So when it comes to looks and feel, I will give my opinion on looks and feel based on my own opinion. But I am very, very, very sure to say that it's subjective. That's what I like. That's not necessarily what you like. When it comes to performance, performance is measured. Performance is physics. And also when it comes to the fairly unique, because I don't know that many other YouTube channels that do stuff to the extreme level that I do, because it just takes too blooming long. That it's honest, because it's good or bad. I hit it and I'm showing it. I can't shy away from if it's good or bad, and it's just what it is. And so I believe in doing things morally honest and truthful. That's just who I am. Golf addict, back shank. That's what she said. Car screws, back shank is when you shank the ball and then fall back on your ass. Not yet, keep going. Sherry and Jay, if I gave you a 7-iron with a funky lie, etc., how many swings would it take you to adjust to that club? If I knew the lie, I can adjust around about 5 to 6 degrees in my wrist angles and keeping delivery fairly close. But especially when I'm warmed up, I can move delivery within about sort of 5 to 6 degrees of dynamic lie. After that, so 3 degrees either way, I can do it flatter. I can actually lower my handle much better than I can raise my handle. But yeah, within reason. Let's call it 5 degrees for a nice round-ish number. I suppose 10 would be better, but you know, 5. So I could get used to it. If it's only a few degrees out, I'd play with it, and it would just say, look, I hit a fairly straight shot, and that will just make it want to move to the right, move to the right. And unless I distinctly want to draw it, or not for it to move to the right, I just play with it. Richard Bigger says, oh, I had Tezoids way back when. Custom combo set, pros 1 to 5, true 6 lob wedge, true flighted rifle 6.5, later changed for 5.5. Chuck them for some old Hogans that hit better in every way. Wow, going back in the day. Sherry also says, humans are pretty clever. You can adjust to the club just as easy as adjusting the club to you. Absolutely you can when you're talking about a skilled individual, when you're talking about an individual who's skilled within their realm and understand how their body works, understanding what signals your brain needs to tell what muscles to influence wrist angles, etc., or delivery conditions to change in a certain way relative to a club in question. When it comes to golfers, amateur golfers who have not developed the skill or the understanding to, I mean, the classic one, and I would be doing a video on this. So tell you what, let's just have a look at there, because I've got to be mindful of the time, and also got to say thank you very much to every single person that has kindly donated again. But I do find it very, very important to say thank you. What was I going to do? I can't remember now. I've walked off of there. I need to flick the old camera over, don't I? If not, oh, see, this is when you get. This is what happens when you get old. You start a train of thought, and then you get distracted doing something, and then you wonder, what was I talking about again? Yeah, hang on. I'll go over here so I can actually see it. And then we can get back into humans pretty clever, like justified winning club. As adjusting to club to you. So that was started a train of thought. Keep messaging, and I will keep commenting. I'm going to recapture my train of thought. Don't know if I can. I mean, I got up for a reason, because it was going to be more important me doing it visually than it was to. But anyway, yeah, I'll get back onto it in a second. Spike! Hello, Spike. Hey Jay, another nuts. Fenrica, are the affordable launch monitors helpful? Say the Garmin RT. So certain information is good, certain information is bad, on the basis that the information that is given by launch monitors need to be usable. It needs to be consistent, and it needs to be right. This is the problem about going launch monitors. Now, I hated the SkyTrack, the first one, I'll be honest. Anyone who's teaching using a SkyTrack, it does. I have tested a SkyTrack directly up against quad, like side by side. And you can get away with that because obviously the SkyTrack sits there, a quad's got a big window. And so you can set the ball on the dot when it comes to the SkyTrack, and then you can obviously measure. So every single time you hit SkyTrack with a straight delivery, so path and face is fairly zero, strike is fairly bang on middle, you hit just a normal shot forward. SkyTrack is as good as quad. When it comes to their algorithm, the SkyTrack is as good as quad. There you go. Get it out there straight away, let's be honest. However, if you are slicing the golf ball, fading the golf ball, drawing the golf ball, hooking the golf ball, or hitting the golf ball anywhere other than absolutely in the middle, and you put tilt axis applied to the golf ball, inefficiencies to the golf ball because of your strike for one, the SkyTrack is a bunch of useless garbage. Now, I will put this out there, and I'm sorry to SkyTrack, but you are making SkyTrack 2, so that's the reason why you're doing it. And so for those people, yeah, so, and that's the problem when it comes to certain things, because SkyTrack is still a personal launch monitor. Effectively, it's still a personal launch monitor. It's not branded like this thing. This quad is 20-something thousand pounds. I think the biggest, I think it's the most expensive option, something like 24 £1,000 or something or other. Anyway, it's a load of money. It's an utter huge lump of cash, but it does give you commercial grade information, so it has to be right. You can get away with a personal launch monitor. It's a personal launch monitor. It doesn't have to be accurate. These things have to be accurate. TrackMan has to be accurate with the things that it says that it's measuring. There's certain things, obviously, it's calculating no different, but it has to be accurate. When you go in Garmin and stuff like that, there are some very, very good parts of it. Absolutely there are. Yes, there are. There are some parts which aren't ideal, and because you're going to go that cost an analysis of what the difference is between realistic, understandable and believable information and yeah. So I mean, again, I would, if I wanted cheap, relatively cheap in the world of launch monitors of 20-odd thousand something pounds, if I wanted good ball data, I would still go GC2. GC2 has the same ball algorithm as Quad. Foresight learned a long time ago how to use their algorithm to a point of where it is that good. There's no problems whatsoever, it is that good. So I'd use GC2. Remember guys, with GC2 you've also got that potential, that possibility of sticking the HMT unit attached to the side of it. And if you've got that, then you've got, within reason, a fully functioning Quad, yeah? And that's what you've got if you have HMT unit. Now, of course, GC2 and HMT have been out a long while now. There will be a point sometime where Foresight will turn around and say that we are not servicing these anymore. So yeah, that's what they'll probably do. I need to go press the button on the old TV because it's saying that I need to, yeah, if you don't press the button on me, I'll turn off. That's what it's saying. And so yeah, I mean, give it a test if you can to see if you like it or not. But it's a, yeah, it's an interesting thing when it comes to launch monitors in general. I still can't remember what I was going to say with Sherry, but there you go. Class Grooves. Oh, thank you very kindly. You got up to demo the back shank. Oh, back shank, thank you. Right, so back shank. Right, the back shank, oh, I don't know if I can do this. It's a bad idea. Nope, that was just shank. There you go, nearly got it. I am doing this so badly. I'm trying to do it. How badly can I do this? There you go. Oh, yeah, that's not fun. Never, yeah, see, so basically, ow, a back shank is this, right? When, we all know, right, that there's a golf club, yeah? I'll put it like this way, no, that way, there we go, there's a golf club. That's the toe. That's the heel. This is the hosel, right? We've all hit hosel rockets. Go in there and go, goes out that way. The back shank is when you hit the ball there, on this side of the hosel, at the back of the shank. And it is the most hateful place that you can possibly hit a golf ball. Oh. And if you, can I get one where actually the Quad can measure it? Oh, oh dear, I could tell you, I'll show you a picture of that. I could probably do that. Oh, wow. Oh. Can you see that? I went 22 yards, that did, in the air. There you go, I'll go there so you can actually see it. Ready? There's the back shank. Hit behind. Yep. That's how bad it is. I'll tell you what, I'll turn it off, but I'll put it over here. I'll get it back down again. I'll align it later. Yeah, because it has to be aligned. Because my OCD. There you go, that's the back shank. That's the back shank. Oh, my hands. That is such a bad idea to do that. Golf Addicts. Hello, he's right there again. Oh, very, very kind. Thank you very much. $5.50 of the, excuse me, Canadian. Canadian dollars, yeah. And Class Groove's got in there as well, with donation of $1. Thank you very, very kindly. Oh God, just hurt your hands. If you back shank it, people, just don't. Just learn. Go take a lesson, really, because that's not good for your body. Tried the Stealth 2 HD driver today for my round of 75. I tell you what I will do is I will, because I'm in that mode. That right? Which one's the mode of? That's that one there. There you go. I'll just turn the aircon on a little bit because I'm starting to get a little bit warm. So tried the Stealth 2 HD driver today for my round of 75. Oh my, I was striping it, very straight, loved it. Just the $850 price tag is stopping me. 850 Canadian lovelies. Yes, I can understand why. That's a lot of money. Right, so, Soprand, whichever way you want to call it. What are your thoughts on the Adele wedges and fitting experiences with them? Generally speaking, very, very good, being honest. Yeah, premium, the biggest issue you're going to find with custom fitting when it comes to brands. Right? In the premium brand sector, you're going to get all the head choices that you need because everyone makes, even Ping, which really they only make Blueprint, is their full-on blade. They sell about 3 a year. Yeah, they're not many, yeah? So fair enough. You got I-59. Again, sales of I-59 is not huge, yeah? So they are the top echelon or more so up there. Then you go I-230. I-230 in the I range with their I-525 is their bread and butter. They're ones that are going to be selling well, obviously with I-525. So you got I-230, I-525 make up the most of their sales within the I range, absolutely. These two, the Blueprint, the I-59, might as well not exist, yeah? And let's face it, you've got I-230, as good as you can really make an iron when it comes to an eye, and the 525, well, it's just a beast monster. And then you've got G430, and that is what? Blueprint, I-59, I-525, I-230, G. 5 irons that does the lot, yeah? From Blueprint, fully bladey to G. Because they've dumped G700 and all that lot. So you've got 5. Let's say Mizuno. They have 5 just in their JPX. So there are manufacturers out there which make sure you have enough head choices, absolutely. And if you go with the premium brands, they've always, generally speaking, got enough shaft choices. As soon as you go down to a medium brand or lower, the biggest problem you're going to have is twofold. One, the heads aren't as varied, so you don't have the same choice of CG placements and protection against strike misses as a pattern, etc., that you do on other manufacturers. And also, shaft choices go through the floor. So full custom fitting of medium and also lower brand is difficult, or more difficult, shall I say. Spy, I need a drink. YTD. Dun, dun, dun. Spike says, love my Garmin in my little shop. Helps my game so much. Absolutely. Launch monitors can help. It's just a case of, if you're working on consistent, so if you only worked on a Garmin, you understand how that Garmin worked, you understand how that reflects in what you do. And then you're using that same one set up the same way to see a consistent pattern of something, then absolutely. I mean, it doesn't matter if your launch monitor says that you hit it 100 yards. In real life, you know you hit that 150 yards. Yeah, big difference. But you now know that launch monitor's 100 yards is the actual 150. So if when you test and practice and everything else like that, you're trying to get that launch monitor to hit 100 yards. Okay, it's going 150, but you're looking at the consistency of how that's saying 100, or how you're hitting at 100 yards. So it doesn't have to be always accurate to the exact number you're actually hitting it. You just need to understand a pattern. And if you're working on a pattern of trying to change or gain something, but in more of a consistent way, absolutely right. Spike also said, I mostly play courses on GS Pro. I just have fun and tried to improve. Yes, I thought about getting GS Pro as well, but obviously I've got FSX Plays sitting behind me. But because again, this is work. In here, it's my work environment. This is not a play environment. The wife says to me, why don't I get GS Pro? So if I want to go and play some, it's work. And so when I'm at work, I want to be at work and do work. And then when I come away to do other stuff, work in the house, or work somewhere else, or work down there, or work over there, and I just work all the time. I need to go out and play golf or do something socially. I don't think I could do that on purpose. Well, the back shank, yeah, I did. Ow. Alex, I have a SkyTrack for a few years, but really wanted clubhead data, so just got a GC2 HMT. I got all the data I can ever want now. Absolutely, Alex. I had GC2 HMT before I went over to quad. So I had GC2 first. Then the range had GC2 and very quickly got HMT. Then I had HMT as well, so I had GC2 HMT myself. The range had then GC2 HMT, then upgraded to quad. I still had GC2 HMT, and then the quad, and then obviously the range moved on and stuff like that. And when I would come to do this full time, I didn't want to do it with a GC2 HMT. I wanted to do it with the quad, just a better. I say better. The hitting window's bigger. So that mat that I've got down there is like 400 wide, nearly 400 mil wide, and that is the front to back window, like close and far away. It's got such a good focal range, the quad, and so it just evens the wear of the mat. The problem with GC2 HMT, if anything, because the window's smaller, you wear the same part of the mat a lot. And if you're playing off grass and hitting shots off grass, you constantly have to move your GC2 HMT because of you start going through the grass of where your hitting window is. With the quad, because it's bigger, you can go through more divots before you have to move the old girl. What's the next one? Fenrica, thank you very, very much. £1.99, thank you very much. And it says, thank you for sharing your knowledge. Absolutely fine, always happy to help. Neil says, you had to do the back shank with a Golf Iron brand with the slogan, nothing feels like a back shank. No, yeah, of course you felt it. Yeah, you do. It was not nice. And I have worked out as well, and I don't know if anyone can help me out on this. So that's my hand. There you go. You probably don't, unless I've got like a dummy underneath. I've got just a dummy hand. If I start walking away from it, that'd be funny, wouldn't it? No. There's my hand. And so I wear a wedding ring since last year, and I've noticed that you can't really see it on there, but I'm starting to develop a calluses. Anyway, on there, and it's because when I'm swinging, that pinches. And so I'm going to have to either possibly take the ring off, which now feels weird, but yeah, or tape it, because I know Tiger and some people tape theirs and stuff, I don't know. Right, so TaylorMade, reviving the Adams brand for direct-to-consumer model at lower price points. I'd say it's an interesting move considering how expensive the big brands have gotten. Yeah, so you've got different manufacturers. Callaway have also got, is it the Edge? I think it is, something like that. They've got their lower bracket stuff, which they can put in the price range, which is much more suited to the person that's going to go to Sports Direct or whether it be to go buy a set of golf clubs. And it's not a bad idea. The only problem that some manufacturers have got of doing that is because they focus so much on their premium level of their product. They don't in any way, shape or form want anyone to feel that their current brand is cheapened in any way doing such a thing. Now I think with TaylorMade and Callaway especially, the two largest marketing hype machines in the world of golf, they can get away with anything because they can just spend lots of money explaining it. That's a good idea, absolutely good, because if there's any way whatsoever that people can have golf at a cheaper level, why would anybody have an issue with that? Okay, is it fitted? No. Is it necessarily the best equipment? No. But again, at that price tag, I would always say, actually, generally speaking, it'd be better this. If individuals were properly custom fitted, understand the specs that they require, and then went and found those specs on aftermarket sites like eBay, etc., that's a better option than buying brand new unfitted. So, Arima Sengo, I'm so sorry if I got that wrong. I'm terrible. Hello, when would you recommend to replace golf clubs from 2005? About now. I came back to golf a month ago and currently doing 90 to 100. So 2005 is quite a long while ago. Now I've still got my old set of Cobra SSIs. They're from 2003. And when I did a test between, my original test between, oh, well, hang on, let's for fun. Let's see if I can, so, can I go on to it whilst I'm streaming? Let's have a little look. Content on there. Have I got something? Come on. There you go. So I did a video on something like the 7th of December, something like that. And it was 20-year-old iron versus modern day. And I tested the, I can't remember what it was. I tested that one against the blade, effectively. Yeah, and so I was amazed at just how. I tell you what I'll do is I will copy link address, and I will go. I don't know if I'll be able to do this or not. Oh. Restore chat. Can I restore chat in there? Oh, that's no good if I can't restore chat. Can I go here instead then? Oh, I shouldn't have restored chat, should I? Oh, I shouldn't have restored chat. That's not good. Bear with, people. I've made a boo-boo. I shouldn't restore the chat. Pop it out in the window. Pop out chat. There we go. And that means then I need to go back onto OBS. There we go, got it. Whew, nearly got that one wrong, didn't I, people? And I just make it a little bit bigger. There you go. Don't do that again. So, dear me, nearly got that one wrong. Yeah, I was going to try and get it in there. So what I'll probably do, I'll see if I can I paste that in there? Right, so I've pasted the link. Anyone want to go on that one, copy and stick it into a new browser window, pause the video and watch it later. Basically, it's a video between a 20-odd-year-old or 20-year-old Cobra SSI against a blade, a MP20 blade. Yeah, blade, yeah. And the differences in performance between those two over such 20 years, it is interesting, we'll call it. Right. No, why not do a video on stream playing a golf round on the sim? A stream playing a golf round? Oh, it could do. Yeah, I think it'd be boring for people, possibly. The only reason I don't do that is because obviously I use it for work rather than play, but I suppose by doing that, playing could be work. I like the way you think. Richard Bigger says, move the wife from an old set of standard men's Yonex FCBs into senior men's Cleveland SGIs. Haley, yeah, XL hits them great. That's a shame because she's beating you. You need to change her handicap. Silico says, picked up a T22 in copper finish last week. What a sexy wedge. I agree. So I have, which one's which? So I'll transition. Top window, I've got my copper MP20s in the top right hand window. On the left hand side you can see in the case, but I've got my blades, my chrome blades, because I love a chrome blade, but in the top there, right on the top right hand side of that case, I do have a T22 copper wedge, because they look in the sun, wow, do they look nice. Spike says, Soprano, I still play a full set of Adams Idea Tech irons. Wow, good. Why not? If they work, who cares how old they are? Richard, moved. Oh, I got that one out. Sticko. Niels, I always remove the ring when golfing. Yeah, I think I may have to. Niels, I may, because it's just, it feels weird now not having it on. It does, but it's, yeah, it just kicks the living thing out of my hands. Right, so if everyone is all done, I may knock it on the head, because it is now 11:45. So I have been on here for 3.25 hours. I hope everyone has had fun. Unless anyone's got some other, absolutely happy to do any other ones. Visual says, Jay, I know the MP Mizuno Pro 225 has copper underlay. Yes. Can you tell us if copper wedges are good in performance or aesthetic thing? No, they are good. They are. So they fractionally feel softer than the standard chrome, the standard satin chrome option, only because the procedure of their, so how it basically works is if you've got the 1025E steel and they'd like to copper the 1025E, the reason why they had to copper things is because they've changed their forging process in MP18. MP18 came before MP20 in the copper start, I suppose, version 1, but it came after MP5 and stuff. So MP5 was the last physical old forging method which made Mizuno feel like Mizuno. MP18 happened, change into the HD process. Change in the HD process made it actually sound a little bit more clippy, make sure it's a little bit harsher, which then everybody, well not everybody, a lot of people said they didn't like. Some people liked it, which is great, and if MP18s work for you and you still love them and stuff, brilliant, absolutely. A lot of people said they were too harsh, they didn't feel like classic Mizuno. So they then, for MP20, come up with the copper process. Now the problem with adding copper, which is great because it deadens noise, brings that softness back, you still get the HD forging, which there are advantages definitely to the HD forging, but you don't get the sound. So copper doesn't directly adhere to the 1025E, so they nickel plate it first. If they nickel plate the copper, the 1025E steel first, then that accepts like a bond to the next stage of copper overlay. Now of course then you can't chrome and finish the copper, and the copper would oxidize and all different, so they nickel plate it again. So you have 1025E, nickel, copper, nickel, and then the outer. Yeah, it's a very labor intensive way of doing things. When it comes to the T22, same things, dun dun dun, but when it comes to the copper stage, they've got the copper stage and they put this coating over the top of the copper stage, which gives that weird, like darkish denim look to it. But it's effectively a finish which bonds to the copper and stops it oxidizing greatly. But it does, because it's not then nickel plated and then a finish coat on top, you don't have that, so you get raw copper, so you do get a touch better feel from a T22, but there you go. Right, Golf Fan says, thanks as usual Jay for your time to give us, cheers and be safe and be well. Thank you very much. Vishal says, thanks Jay, enjoy the honeymoon. I will, thank you very, very kindly for all your kind donations about the honeymoon and stuff. It's very, very nice of you. Yeah, I will be enjoying, I've got so much to do, and I won't be looking forward to coming back because I know I've got a mountain of stuff to do, but I'll have 5 days so also to enjoy myself. Richard says, great session, thanks for all the super advice and deep knowledge. Nice to find someone with not just an opinion, everyone's got one, but with something sensible to say. Yeah, I have plenty to say. No, I have my own view on things. And so I was, there was a discussion, there was not a seminar as such, but there was not a webinar, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, there was so we sort of, for people in my situation, right, and this is where I understand it, and if I had the view that, if my view was different to what it is, I would take the information that I learned, or yeah. So effectively breaking it down into this, when it comes to me, doing what I'm doing in front of you guys, in front of the lens, and I give you, I'm like this when it comes to my normal content. The difference is this is much more longer drawn out conversation, so we end up talking about different things. I'm working off of you guys, looking at what you're asking me, and then obviously answer directly. So much more of my normal personality will come out in a direct conversation that we're kind of having, rather than me effectively trying to deliver information to a camera of what you're going to be watching. I'm just talking to a camera, I'm not talking to you. So more of my personality comes out as a norm, I guess. I still do that when it comes to doing the numbers side, because I'm still talking, and I do. However, so they're talking about what people in my situation, content creators or people or influencers and stuff like that, the distance that they should apply to you guys. Yeah. So doing live streams in the way that I do it basically is not healthy to a profitable business. Why? Because because again, I suppose I can't get in trouble for saying anything or repeating anything that was said. So effectively this, when there is this divide between the people that watch me and then me, and then the nature of people and how they interact and how they, what was the word that was, or the words that we use? It's like when you get a little bit starstruck, when you meet your idol and stuff like that, you get a little bit starstruck. So when it, and I'm not calling them anyone's idol, but you get my point. They were basically saying that if you remain distanced from your viewership, they are more likely to, and this is where it's hilarious, they are more likely to continually donate and support financially to your channel if you leave some of yourself behind. When you have that distance between you and the listener or the viewer, then, and I'm like, I can't do that. I'm not going to base my personality and my interaction with, I mean, I can't, let's just do this very, very quickly, because I do think it's very, very important we do this, right? Come on, go. So, right, I want to say thank you to every single person that has very, very kindly donated, and this is why I disagree with it, because it shouldn't be down to, again, okay, the world is about money, of course it is. YouTube do adverts, I understand that, but Abstract AV, thank you very, very kindly. £9.99, that means the world. Thank you, it very much does. Renee, we had the oh, I've got to go back now to remember what the knock 100, what 100 knocks. Thank you very, very kindly, Renee. My memory is terrible when it comes to what they were, Norwegian krona. Thank you. Visual, an absolutely amazing $99.99, $100. That is an incredible donation, and I am moved. That is one of those ones that you think, I can't accept that. That is very kind of you. Thank you. Don is popped in with €2.49. Thank you very much for remember it's Don Cake. Everyone loves Don because everyone loves cake. Niels, 89 Danish krona, remember the krona, for another set of spiked Arnold Palmer's honeymoon. Yes, I will do that. I've got the list. I have got it here somewhere of exactly what, and I'll see if I can try and find something, because it is all inclusive in Morocco, which Marrakesh is where I'm going to go. Don't find me. I don't know what hotel I'm going to, because the missus has sorted it out. The wife has sorted it out, and I've left it into her capable, very capable hands of sorting it out, because she's been abroad like billions of times, not billions of times, but lots and lots of times. I haven't been abroad that much because I've just been too busy. But thank you very, very much, Niels, for that. Alex, $9.99 for a beverage fund, of which last bit of the YTD. Thank you. And I haven't had to crack into my reserve. If it had gone for too much longer, it would have been a reserve one. Class screws, 99 cents. Thank you very much. Basically $1 for that. I appreciate that very, very much. Golf Addict, $5.50 for trying the Stealth HD driver and having to work out if $850 is a price tag too steep. It is. And Fenrica, thank you very much for the £1.99. It is much appreciated for sharing knowledge, etc. So there you go. I do feel it's important that I give back as best I can. But I did find it very, very interesting listening to that about how I could be more beneficial to my business model if I was to remain distanced. I understand it. I understand the like the psychiatry as such behind it, how human interaction, human relationships, and the human mind works when it comes to dealing with people that they've got no physical attachment to as such when it comes down to the lens, but I disagree with it. Spike says, later Jay, your tea on the way, found it, need to ship. It's fine, mate, no worries whatsoever. I'll be out from the 8th all the way to the 13th, is it? Or something like that, I can't remember. Monday to Friday. So as long as it doesn't arrive next week between Monday and Friday, it'll be fine. Although I think it might take a little while longer than that anyway. Niels, I donate for the opposite reason, among other reasons. And it is very kind of you. Every single time that people do it, it means an awful, awful lot. Alex says, agree with Niels, the nature of the interaction is why I donate. Well, there you go. See, in that case then, I should have watched that after doing this, because although it wasn't live, so I couldn't have basically said you're wrong. I can say I won't do that, but there you go. But no, it is much appreciated. Thank you very, very kindly. So, as long as no one else, Spike says, you like me are not the secret guys. If it doesn't fit, open a book here. I think you like me are not the secret guys. It doesn't fit, open book here. Yeah, well, that's true. Information's out there and to be had, and to be, oh, I can notice there's a button. Is that a button on there? Hang on, where is it? Oh, it is a button. I just thought for a second there was a little add-on to, I just noticed that I'm not wearing my hoodie very well, but then again, I've got the microphone underneath. I'm a bit worried about it constantly, and I hope it hasn't been doing that. Even while I was up there, I hope the microphone hasn't been rubbing on the hood. I'm liking the hoods. Yeah, I couldn't put it up, as in the case of I couldn't put the hood up. I think I'd look a little bit gangster. And for an individual of my age, I don't think it would be appropriate. I'm not quite sure you can wear it on the golf course though, but there you go. Right, thank you very, very much for everybody. It has been a wonderful time. I've enjoyed myself immensely. There we go. I like abstract AVs. I do like it when people, I think whether it's a super thanks or something like that, but they have those funny graphical emojis. It does tickle my sense of humor. I must admit, it does. Right, so thank you very much for sticking with me. So thank you for the very kind donations. Thank you very much for the chats, very much for the questions, everybody. Sherry as well. The good news is that when it comes to Sherry, I don't know if Sherry and the Defecators is still here, but I like the fact that we all have different sort of opinions of different ideas from time to time. And I also love it how everyone may agree or disagree, but they do it so respectfully and do it in a way where we are not just bashing everybody's other opinions as being wrong. Everyone's got different ideas, and do you know what? We can all learn things from everybody. A wise person said that you can learn something from the most stupidest of people. That's a very good point, you can. Because I may know a lot about golf and stuff like that within golf. Well, I can guarantee you, every single person that's watching me right now, you're much better at what you do than I am. And in that case alone proves that I am only knowledgeable in certain areas of my life. Compared to someone else within their areas, I am a mere novice. So yeah, right. That's my little wise bit for the end. I need to come up with some wise ones, don't I? My wise phrase, my wise term to end the stream. So, thank you very much. You can wear that at my age. What is that? Yeah, that's true. Right, thank you very much, people. It's been a pleasure, as always. And I will see everybody, or see everyone, speak to everyone in 2 weeks' time. By that time, I might have had the memberships thing sorted out. I'm so bad. I've got some up to do. I've got tiling to do. I have got more windows and stuff to do at home. It's mental. I've got 15 windows, 2 doors. Yeah, 15 windows, 2 doors to do. 2 down today, and I'm tiling the rest of the ensuite. I've tiled before, but I've never tiled the whole entire room like that. Not the ceiling, not the time of the ceiling. Yeah. But I've done LVT flooring and all that slot. So I am busy. Always good to learn new skills, regardless of what you do, how old you are. And enjoy your honeymoon, says Spike. I will. Thank you very much, people. I appreciate it as always, and I will see everybody or speak to everybody in 2 weeks' time. Regular jack of all trades, yes. What is it, the trade before I go? A jack of all trades, a master of none, but still always better than a master of one. There you go. I'll leave everyone with that. I don't know if everyone was aware of, that kind of thing, but there you go. Exactly. Deep. That is deep, isn't it? That's a little bit too deep for 11 o'clock at night. So what I'm going to do, everyone have fun. Come up with some ideas. Come up with some really good. You've got 2 weeks to come up with some really challenging questions. I want you to get technical. This is a little bit of fun. I want you to, well, my technical thing will be getting the blooming chat to work. But yeah, you guys, your thing is to try and challenge me in a way that would really, I want a question, a technical question about certain things that I am incapable of answering. Not what do I like about this shaft? No, that's not. I'm talking about the physics of things and stuff like that, because I enjoy those. But yeah. Right, everybody, thank you very much. Thank Vishal. Thank you very much for that. And I will, homework. I like it. You got it. Thanks, Vishal. Go for it. I challenge everybody to come up with a question which tackles my brain. I like it. It is, that's what we're here for. Tackling the brain, keeping it going. Right. It's been a pleasure, and I will stop it in 3. Hang on, I've got to do that right. 3. No, hang on. That way. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, I've got to press the button to say yes. I was going to press the stop stream, but yeah. Ready? 3. Oh, hang on. 3, 2, 1.